pouring in all the others into the others, and we're gradually getting more and more saturated colours as they kind of the essence of each pool was being drawn out from the actual mountain that it's based on. When the attack started, the pool sort of flushed red with blood, and it became immediately this very like visceral crimson, and it became more like thick and kind of gloopy as it was coming down the mountainside. And now, as it's being cleansed, there's like the red is becoming more pinky, and there's also these kind of like silvery lines that are moving through it, and you can see that some of the pools around the base, which typically would be the most saturated with colour, are starting to like show their inner hues.
Out of interest, do you think it would be considered uncouth to bathe in the blood of the Dragonborn of the Drovnar Peaks?
Well, so it's not necessarily blood of the Dragonborn.
Oh.
It's more of just like a devilish magical effect.
Oh, okay.
Almost like the Mordor from Harry Potter.
Okay, I see.
And so they're essentially, as part of the process of just purging the land of this devilish residue.
Okay.
A cool idea,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not you want to put this in, would
Mhm.
be, say, some of the lightning strikes or some of the attacks or something created new concave sections in the mountainside that are actually being filled up. So there's actually new pools.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, that are starting to like generate these sort of more more unusual colours that they haven't been seen there so much before. But yeah, we could definitely say that these kind of like almost like scars that are before the pools were all kind of ancient and been crafted very much to be pools to sit in, but these are like sort of misshapen and strange along the mountainside. Yeah, I like that.
Like bright purples and blues and stuff like that. I like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, is there anything? Is there stuff that people want to get involved with here?
I mean, I'm relatively desperate now that the battle's over to get the whip out of my hand.
Okay. Yeah.
And potentially look around for another weapon.
Enoch is gonna want to go in the pools, so Enoch's up for staying, relaxing, taking in the spoils of his victory, basking in the glow of his adoring fans as he regales them with his heroic tales of his deeds from the battle. Gonna make a performance check.
Of course you can. I'm imagining you sort of like, as you stroll through the streets, kind of piecing together songs and singing little jaunts.
Yeah, I rolled good. 18, 25.
25.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're really as you're kind of meandering through the streets, singing a tale of your prowess. You notice that the Dragonborn begin to sort of coalesce and stop by as you walk past, and they kind of, you'll maybe give someone a wave or a smile as you regale them with your epic abilities.
Nice. Can I try and form a march through the streets?
Yeah, sure.
What would I need to do for that?
Why don't we have a
I've got a cool idea on that as well. Go on.
Why don't we have a persuasion?
A persuasion.
Yeah, give me 3 persuasion rolls.
Okay. Ooh, 28.
Nice.
That one. The next one.
21. No, 22.
Nice.
Wait.
It's going to be quite
what's
a
14?
procession.
What's 14 plus 9?
23.
23. Sorry, 23.
Get owned.
Oh, and 12, but I can add a d8 to it.
It's alright. There's a
No. It needs to be like 3 above 20.
Epic.
16. Not that made any difference at all. I've just expended a resource.
Yes, so you find that as more and more people gather around, you see that some of them, as some of your verses begin to repeat and choruses come in, you see that people begin to sort of like join in, and after a while you end up with this group of maybe 20 or 30 people which begin kind of singing along and like casting out little flourishing spells and everything, and after a while you've kind of got this, it's just growing and growing as more and more people begin making their way through town. On the way you see
Governor Peaks, you ready?
It just becomes Live Aid.
And you find that as you're kind of walking through the streets and on the way, people are sort of trying their best to, as they're passing by, like using their magic, which is like growing stronger and stronger to like repair the buildings that they walk past. And it's kind of this procession of like rejuvenation almost, as the path that you cause, the combined hopefulness of all of the people in the group are able to kind of have a beneficial magical background effect on the area around them.
On the way, can we go up by the pools?
Yeah.
Does the
I thought you were going to
rejuvenation
pools.
does the rejuvenation have any effect on the pools?
Yeah, for sure. If you've got everyone here and they were kind of fixated around this one event, you see that you begin to approach the pools, and you suddenly feel like a rough but friendly arm kind of wrap around your head and kind of like give you a bit of a half hug, and you kind of look up and you see it's Clownmesh who's walking with you.
Fuck yeah.
And he's immediately belting out songs alongside you. However,
Enoch jumps
his
into
voice
his
isn't the
arms.
best, but it's got a the passion, despite its poor quality, is very it's enjoyable nonetheless. As you walk,
Can I just quickly shoot out a message to Gesh, and I say, Gesh, bring some mead, ale, wine, up by the cleaning pools.
yeah, you see on the way people have like grabbed a few drinks that they've been able to as they've been passing by. And as
Can I just say in response to that, I'll say, yes, Enoch, I'll be right there. Go on. No, I was going to say just like, and then have you just isolated that communication just to me as well, or is every sort of?
No, I'm just saying I feel like you are the person.
broadcasting. Yeah.
Well, no, but also I
Broadcasting.
feel like you're the person out of like Dorwin and Pilana that I'd be like, oh yeah, the fucking yeah, we're fine.
Yeah.
Gotta take the spoils and.
You find that for Gesh, Pilana and Dorwin, from what
But everyone knows what I'm doing. I haven't been seen.
Yeah.
I've led a procession through the streets.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
From your guys' perspective, you can just like say you're like helping out build someone's place or smashing the ice in Elaborate's hut or something like that. Pilana, I imagine you'd be tending to the wounded and providing solace to those who have lost people. Dorwin's probably reading a book.
Well, I've got a an idea of what. So Enoch reaches out and says that, and then in response, because I can imagine sort of Enoch's created this procession and sort of leaving Bastardet and sort of making his way through the town towards the pools, right? And I sort of I turn to Dorwin and I sort of give him a nudge and I say, hey Dorwin, I've got quite a few magical potions here. What say you and I go somewhere quiet, maybe to the library, and I'll brew up a storm and you can study your books.
Oh, I'll be there. All this frivolity is a bit much for poor old me. Get me to that library.
Yes, I quite agree. Agree? I quite agree. Let's go to the library. Let's go to the library though.
You find that from your guys' perspective, you just kind of hear this sort of chorus of singing that's sort of muted in the distance, and with that, as you make your way up past through the pools, you see that the ones at the bottom, as everybody's kind of, I'm envisioning it's not like they're sort of actively casting spells, but just like because of their magical nature, it's just sort of exuding this what everybody collectively sort of desires. And you see that the pools at the bottom of the spring, there's people tending to them and trying to sort them out, but you see that they begin to like morph and change colour back to their original colours, and it's almost like a reverse flow, because as this kind of putrid water is coming down, each time it sort of leaves a pool it gets cleansed, and then as that gets cleansed you enter another pool and that begins to dissipate, and return back to its original colours, and you see that it almost takes a second for like adding curiosity to what the pools actually are. You see that some of them almost like a chemical reaction kind of flow into one colour but then flow into another one, and it's sort of begs the question of what are these pools and why are they, you know, does it come from the mountain or is it some sort of enchantment?
And sorry, now, what is Polana doing? Just out of interest, are you like being a virgin or?
I'm a virgin.
To be fair, have we pursued this in the past? What effect did the pools have on your whip? Did we, or were you?
Did I bathe? Oh, I did bathe in them, but it didn't have any effect.
No.
No.
Enoch's bathed in them quite a bit.
Yeah.
He loves the pools.
He's ruined them. They're now disgusting and brown.
Yeah, most of the pollution was just actually Enoch's farts. He was just cutting in the pool.
Yeah,
just
been
pools are
pissing and
nothing.
farting. You've just been pissing and farting in the pools.
These pools were not built for goblin piss.
just turns it all lime green.
Enoch, befouler of ponds.
Enoch's dark alter ego.
Pond befouler.
Yeah, Polana would probably be tending to the wounded and helping rebuild wherever she can, and potentially trying to find somebody who has the skill to get rid of this whip now that Labris is dead.
But as in overnight, like this evening, is she doing that? Like I think because it's like, you know.
I mean, this place has been like pretty brutalised. She'd probably spend a lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
That's
That's not being a virgin. Like, that's like doing like.
I think though maybe like can imagine.
Enoch respects that.
I can imagine sort of, I don't know, early in the day would be when this procession would start, but then going to the evening after, you know, correct me if I'm getting it wrong, but like as the evening sort of comes in and Dorwin and Gesh have spent several hours honing their crafts and studying their stuff, like maybe Gesh might portray to the rest of the group using Enoch's communication of psychic, and basically suggest that I suggest we all come together and raise a glass over our banquet this evening to toast to those who have fallen, and we could maybe make merry with those who have survived.
And
I've spent like all day like G'ing the town up.
hell yeah.
Can I make a couple of performance checks to see how big it gets?
Yeah, well, yeah. To be honest, I feel like the checks that you've already done are pretty solid. I would imagine that this would just sort of grow and grow. And
nice.
by the time evening comes around, people will probably, like the vast majority of people here, after having been working all day and it being pretty miserable, would probably be getting involved. So I'd say by the end, it would probably erupt into full-on street parties. Basically.
Yeah, nice. Can I be like directing people to like make a massive bonfire?
Yeah.
I was certain you were going to be like, make a massive statue of me.
And you see there's this one...
He's getting to that.
Yeah.
There's this one...
That's going to happen over the coming weeks.
There's one Dragonborn who doesn't seem to have many scales or anything, he claims that that pain is an illusion, and he goes to dive through the bonfire, and he falls into the bonfire and dies a horrible death. No. So something I just wanted to say, while as the street party is erupting and Gesh...
What was that joke?
Oh,
Pain
it's
is
from
real.
Jersey Fest.
Oh, right.
A couple of years back.
Who stacked it? Oh, did you?
To be
You
fair,
fell
he did...
into the fire.
No,
Pain is a social construct.
We had a big discussion about Will was saying pain's not real because you can think your way out of it, and you know there's definitely truth to it. But it was classic when we were a bit younger and way more like head butty. And we was like, no, it's an illusion. And then him and Dunningham were like jumping over the fire having a laugh, and then he like stacked it into the fire and like burnt his leg.
No, so I like as I was jumping over. Yeah, Duncan got burnt as well. As I was jumping over, I like my foot hit a bit of wood, and like a flaming wood chip got wedged in my shoe against my bare skin. So it just burned my foot to fuck. I literally couldn't wear shoes for like, it was on this side, I couldn't wear shoes for like 2 months because it would just rip all the skin off it. It was horrible.
And of course it didn't hurt.
Genuinely, I mean, I was on a lot of drugs, but genuinely.
At that time, it didn't hurt.
But the following morning.
No, genuinely no. It was fun.
Just didn't want to wear shoes.
Because I wanted to heal.
Yeah.
How was it ever going to heal my skin being ripped off?
Yeah, it wasn't because it was.
It wasn't because it was painful. Yeah. It was purely
It
to protect the
wasn't.
skin.
Yes, of course. I wanted to heal.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
So one
Pain
thing
is a social construct.
Dorwin and Gesh.
You've agreed with me.
So Gesh, you have been in the library. You've been like pulling out various ingredients from your bag and setting up your alchemy set and cooking potions away. Dorwin, I imagine you've been poring over one particular book at the moment. You'd probably notice these little like weird puffs of light and stuff coming over from.
Can I just say there's definitely a keenness to be wanting to do this sort of studying alongside Dorwin, even though we're studying completely different crafts. There's just sort of being in that space of having that calm and quiet away from all of the chaos and just noise.
Also, a lot of spells have like material components, so I'll probably know some stuff about the various effects of.
Yeah, sick.
Like,
okay, yeah,
components.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that of like Gesh, you're like doing something and Dorwin says, "Oh, it might be better if you use a hawk feather instead of a raven one there or something." But yeah, and as you're doing this, you cast out this message and you're sort of starting to pack your things away. And as you do, you knock over your like rucksack, and as it falls to the side, the Ifrit bottle rolls out, and you see that there on the floor, it kind of rolls out initially, and then it starts sort of like that, and kind of like
bouncing,
knocking around a little bit. And
with that, I say, Dorwin, what do you make of this?
Or is it a fruit bottle? Which is.
It's a bottle containing an Ifrit.
The thing from the thing.
Way back when.
Yeah, so this is
The thing from the thing, yeah, that's it.
Cool.
what you would remember about it is that Khazal said it can be risky to open them sometimes, but yeah.
Do I know about these things?
Give me an Arcana.
How do you spell it? Fruit.
Efreet.
Wait, what?
Efreet. That's her name?
30.
Okay, so you know that an Ifrit is a type of genie. It is specifically a fire genie. So you know about the other genies as well. There's Jinn, which are genies of air. There are Marids, which are genies of water. And there's the Dao, which are genies of earth. And there's the Ifrit, which are genies of fire. They all have generally different characteristics. The Jinn are generally relatively chill. They're kind of cool dudes. The Marids, they're very much like, they're sort of Jabba the Hutty. They're very like businessy and like cutthroat, and they love like things. The Dao are just these kind of like, I mean, they're just big rock monsters. They're these like stoic, like kind of very tough, aggressive creatures. And the Ifrit are these they're like warrior moguls that are pretty unpredictable. They all come from their respective planes. Ifrit specifically, they come from the elemental plane of fire. Most of them live in a place that you would have learned about called the City of Brass, which is essentially the only place where creatures, like normal creatures, can exist in the elemental plane of fire. Everywhere else it's just hellfire. But the City of Brass is well known for these like insanely extravagant exports of the most bizarre and fantastic ingredients and gemstones. The City of Brass itself is kind of run on a pretty problematic hierarchical structure. It's rife with slavery. Lesser beings are looked down upon. More powerful beings like the Ifrit are sort of revered. And Ifrit specifically tend to be incredibly arrogant. One of the things you'd know about a Ifrit bottle specifically is that in certain circumstances, depending on the nature of the specific bottle, releasing an Ifrit there's a possibility. It's most likely that the Ifrit will try and attack or barter or do something. There's also a very small percentage chance that they'll be forced to grant you wishes as well.
Okay. In that case, Gesh. Wait, it was jumping around, was it?
It was sort of
Bobbing
tinking around,
Okay.
yeah.
Gesh, do you know what that is?
Khazal presented it to me some time ago, but with our recent troubles and tribulations, it's escaped my mind.
Well, to me that looks a lot like a jar that might contain an Ifrit, fire genie. They can be quite dangerous and unpredictable at times. We ought to be very careful about this.
What do you suggest we do? You know more of this than I.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know why it's moving though. Perhaps it's trying to get out, but it might not behoove us to release it.
One of the things that...
Perhaps I stamp on the bottle and we fight it.
One of the things that you guys, I imagine, would potentially remember, now, especially now that you've seen it and it's rejigged your memory, is that the Ifrit bottle was discovered after all of Corvexus's materials burned away, after he died and he caused all of his information to essentially get destroyed. Khazal said that there's a possibility the Ifrit might know some of this knowledge because it's the only thing that survived the fire.
Okay. Corvexus is the one that we fought in that outpost, right? Is that
Yeah.
where Khazal was trying to ask us to goad him outside?
Yeah,
so
to
we could kill him. Yeah. But
He
didn't his soul end up escaping?
He
or
turned
something?
into like smoke anyway.
Yeah, and
he ghosted out of there.
yeah.
Is this considered a celestial, elemental, fae, or fiend, or
It's an elemental.
elemental? Could cast my magic circle thing that I didn't get to cast around the big boy around it, just to be safe.
If you were here.
If you were there, you're turning to the wounded, mate.
There's lots of wounded in the library.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have made sure to have cleared them all out so we can study.
You see that the bottle begins to kind of jump around a bit more aggressively, and it almost looks like the stopper's loosening slightly. Is there anything you want to do?
Gesh, it looks like we won't have a choice. Let's get this thing out of the library or this place will catch fire.
Agreed. And I grab it and I firmly hold my thumb over the
Molotov! Straight into the procession.
Enoch!
Hot potato!
All the wounded
Smashes on Cloudmash's head.
on fire.
Dude!
Yeah, man.
Yeah, quick, let's take it somewhere safer.
Okay,
And
cool.
be prepared for a fight.
And with that, I grab it. I firmly sort of press my thumb over the stopper, and we burst from the library back into the sort of main area of Bastardet, and sort of turn to the nearest Dragonborn and say, teleport us into the open, just outside of the town.
Okay, sure. And I mean, if they're in Bastardet with the wounded, Polana's probably there as well.
Cool. Yeah. So say you're there, and shout to Polana. Usher her.
Someone runs over and says, of course, and zips you away, assuming you're...
And we've communicated this telepathically
Before
to
we leave,
Enoch
we
as
can
well.
just hear Enoch shredding in the distance.
I've got a band together.
Okay.
I can't play an instrument. It's just all vocals.
Straight up hype man.
Yeah. No, I'm MC /
So they teleport you over to sort of where the farms are.
What time of day is this, by the way?
Nighttime.
Nighttime.
And
Okay.
so from here, you can hear you can still just about hear like the muffled hum of celebration over in Drobnar in the town.
Okay. How many hours have passed?
Since you started
Talk
the
me through the
profession,
mechanics
yeah.
of your magic circle.
4.
It
4.
takes
Okay.
like a
I'm
minute
gonna roll
to
a
cast.
D8.
Oh, wait,
and
you started
then
early in the day, didn't
Yeah,
you?
it's
It's
10
probably
foot
like
radius, 20 foot tall.
6
cylinder
hours then?
That
yeah.
they can't
Like,
make any
I mean,
attacks.
let's
they
say
can
My
make
early in the
attacks
day is
outside
like
with
midday,
disadvantage.
but like
Okay.
after midday, like early afternoon.
But-
Because I've slept in.
Yeah,
I mean, like
sure.
they've had like
Okay.
I imagine we have slept in. Like,
Yeah,
we've-
true, yeah. I mean, you probably got to bed late.
Yeah, we got to bed late, and I'm assuming like we're all pretty knackered,
Good.
so we've had
10
like
hours sleep.
probably like 12 hours rest.
Yeah.
That would be my long rest.
Lana's had a whopping 6.
Okay.
Oh, wait till I was 6. I somehow feel more tired.
I've had 4 pints.
And just rolled for it. Nice. That's a lot for a little.
Yeah, I was
guy.
gonna say. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
How many points of exhaustion is that then?
I mean, you would be drunk,
I'm fucking charged.
which gives you the poisoned condition.
Okay. I got the point because that's fine. And then, how many low sticks have I smoked?
Don't want to damage those vocal cords of yours, mate.
5. I'm
Nice.
fucking riding. I'm buzzing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, this Dragonborn teleports you. You tell her to stand back.
Yeah. Stand back, and I'll stand back. Gesture Polana to cast this magic circle.
I can
So you
start
can't
casting
come
it and
exactly
give it a
as
go.
far.
Yeah.
But do you want to do a roll to see whether or not it comes
Well, it'll
out?
take a minute.
It takes a
cast
minute to
it.
cast.
Can we say
okay.
that I can try and?
You give me an athletics check.
You can also stay in there while he's casting it, like holding it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but would I be able to leave?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, fine.
Celestial Fail Fiend.
Okay. But you are, bitch.
What do you say for if that was an enemy type, wouldn't it?
I
can
smash
bitch.
I can make bitches flee.
21.
21. Okay.
Got a natural.
Yeah. So you begin to feel this kind of kind of bursting up into your hand, and meanwhile, Polana, what does it look like as you're casting this spell?
Yeah, cool. So, I'm like hurriedly kind of muttering all of these words
Yeah.
and making these kind of gestures with my hands, and you see emanating from the earth this kind of shield starts to take place and form into this large cylinder, just giving off this. It's like you can see fully through it. It's this very translucent, very
It's spectral.
Yeah, it's almost like relatively hard to see. It looks so thin.
What sort of colour is it? I'm picturing like goldy, or is it?
Oh no, I was picturing more of like a white.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Maybe as well, like maybe the nature of your open stuff. Maybe like the grass around the edge kind of almost grows a little bit, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an area afterwards that's like a bit bloomy almost.
Yeah.
Slightly. If you want.
Yeah.
Or not? You don't see.
No, I don't.
There's no grass.
Okay.
Actually
So-
destroys all of the grass.
With the successful casting of your magic circle, I don't know, maybe you sort of just like nod to me that it's complete, or I can sense it or whatever. And with that, I just gently toss the bottle into the air and just dive out the circle.
Okay, sure. As you do, you see that it kind of flies up in the air like this, and as it falls down, it just lands bottom up perfectly, like a bottle flip. And there's like a moment of silence.
Everyone goes mental.
Whoa!
How'd you do that,
bitch? There's this moment, there's this brief pause, and then you just suddenly hear a little, as the lid just pops off, and immediately smoke and embers, like floating embers, begin to kind of like burst out, almost like a fire extinguisher, just kind of exploding out of this tiny bottle, and kind of in amongst this smoke, which just like fills up the whole bubble, which like begins to sort of dissipate and settle down. You just see this sort of 7 foot, like very deep red skin. This individual who's kind of got these like small horns coming off his head and these rows of razor sharp teeth. He's kind of clad in like chains and these gold cloths hanging off of him. His legs and arms look incredibly sort of powerful and well built, and you just see he's kind of like looking around with these piercing yellow eyes. In his hand he's holding this huge silver scimitar with like a golden hilt, and he just looks kind of around you, all of you, and he just says, I am Mozaffar Ed-Din Shah Ixander Umar, the High Tujar of Kallen.
Sorry, who?
He says,
Once more with feeling.
he says, I see that here it is finally safe to emerge. Tell me, why now? And he looks between the three of you.
Can I just say I'm envisioning, Polana maybe stood 30 feet or so back from where she's cast, or just, I don't know, for roleplay, whatever. Saying, but then I can imagine the rest of the party stood slightly back, but because it's me that had the bottle, I'm the one sort of facing it, if you like. And Gesh sort of says, well, you seemed rather hasty to make an appearance, so why have you presented yourself now?
At this, he kind of like steps forward and he holds up his hand, which kind of has these long claw-like nails, and he just kind of like scrapes it along the magical barrier, just kind of like little sparks kind of hissing off his fingers, and he goes, You must be Gesh, correct?
Indeed. You have just introduced yourself, and I cannot recount your name, but yes, I'm joking. What do you want?
He says, I have been listening in to your ventures for some time now, and, well, I believe I have information that you most certainly need. The location of Niarin Avernus. I've heard Corvexus speak of it many times, but as you can see, I have been trapped for quite some time now, and an exchange ought to be made.
Indeed, I can imagine you would want something in return, so name your price.
I wish for my freedom, but to gain it, I must be returned to my home plane and take up my mantle in the Kinspire. You will have to take me there, and then, and only then, will I give you the location of Niarin Avernus.
Where is your home plane? How do we get there?
He says, this is something that I may be able to arrange myself, but you will have to ask it of me.
You mean like a wish?
I am not at liberty to grant wishes to those who free me. You see, I made a foolish deal with Corvexus. He, and through that, I've lost my power to grant wishes, but I can still grant simple requests that are within my limits, but only if I see it fit myself.
I could just imagine, Enoch would be like, Sam, Genie, you are.
And why do you need us to request it? Can you not simply do it yourself?
This is one of the stipulations of my contract.
I see. We can help you, but we'll need some guarantee that you won't hurt us. We are the ones that freed you, after all.
He says yes, and as he kind of walks around, he kind of like takes a long route round the bubble, and you see that he's kind of examining it. He says, I understand, but for now we will most certainly be having to work together. I think we should start with a show of faith. I bid you release me from this foul prison. Do you not think I have been imprisoned long enough?
That is true, but how can we know that you won't turn against us or simply leave the second I do?
You ask for a show of faith, then you will show us a sign of faith before we release you.
Well then, I will tell you this. Until I am returned to my home plane, I cannot leave a great vicinity from the bottle. And while you are in possession of the bottle, well, there would be no reason for me to harm you if you're my ticket out of here.
Doesn't he have a bottle?
The bottle is in the circle within
No,
the
he can't have the bottle.
Okay.
Seems fair to me.
Like,
Is he sort of like like in sort of typical genie fashion? Is he sort of like, is he someone sort of come from the bottle, but you can still see that there's an essence of him that's attached
So
to it in a way? Do you know what I mean?
For him, as in a freak, there's no. He is walking around on two legs, but the smoke that's billowed out of the bottle is like favouring his direction.
So we can sense like there is like an anchor between the bottle and him in a way.
Yes, it's subtle.
Yeah,
but
it is.
But it's it does seem there.
And it is sort of, it is generally known, you know, in typical genie fashion that they you know are summoned from the bottle. So it's not like this would be information that we could potentially be tricked by him saying. That's common knowledge that a genie is sort of
linked to their vessel. So I mean, you know, I would say that in this world, in Irrigest, it would be like folklore that you would have grown up with, like, oh, rub the lamp and a genie pops out, you know. But obviously this is stuff that for I mean, Dawn would probably know more, but for you guys would be like stories you've heard and stuff. And Efreet are sort of, you know, I mean, Khazal warned you. He said they're famously like
sneaky,
untrustworthy.
Yeah.
What was his first name again?
So he in
How long
conversation he says that you can just call him Iskander.
Okay, so yeah, well, with him saying that, I think Gesh turns to Dorwin and he says, "I trust your judgment, little one. You know more of this than we."
Yeah, I think he's telling the truth. And if he really does have the location, then we should do what we can to get it. I say let him go.
Okay. Yeah, I'll with that I kind of mutter just a few words under my breath, and you see in much the same way that it came, it just kind of shrinks and dissipates and phases back into the ground.
Okay.
And we all roll for initiative.
So you find that as
Iskander,
yeah. As it all fades away, you see that his kind of like glowering stare sort of relaxes slightly, and he sheaths his scimitar at his hip, and he says, "If we are to be leaving for the elemental plane of fire and the city of brass, I expect you will need to make some preparations. For me to be freed, you must take me to my home in the Kilnspire, back where I am the High Tujar. It is only here that my true... it is only here that I can truly be returned to freedom. Do I have your word you will take me there?"
Yes, if you give us yours, that you will give us the information we seek.
Of course. It is only fair.
And with that, I will go and pick up the bottle, and I will put it firmly in my pack while maintaining keen eye contact with him to let him know that he has now entered a pact with us.
You see that this time, as you sort of approach the bottle to like put it away, you see that he sort of like willingly walks over to it and steps into it. But you see that. I mean, give me a insight.
Nat 20.
Okay, nice.
Inspiration point, thank you.
So that you would see that as he's stepping into it, he's doing it willingly, but you detect not only like one of the things I would say to you is that as you see him stepping into the bottle willingly, you can see that he is incredibly good at masking his disdain to going into the bottle.
Right, okay.
Like he's clearly got a real panache.
Okay. Must he, could say, must you return to the bottle? Could you not exist with us?
I think at least whilst we're in the Drovnar Peaks, I think they're probably quite afraid of people looking like our friend here.
At this, he says, Whether I am in or out of the bottle, it is all still a prison to me until I am home. And with that, he just sort of begins to slink away.
Begins to slink away. You say we should make some preparations prior to our journey. What should they be?
He says,
Well, potions of fire resistance.
He says, when you're in the city of Brass, you should be free from the heat and temperatures of the plane of fire, which I know kills you beings. But even there are still many things that burn with scorching heat. And to be truthful, I will not be surprised if one of my competitors has tried to take my place as High Tujar.
So, what preparations do we need to do?
We need to prepare for a battle, basically.
A fiery battle.
Yeah.
Very
I
well.
mean, he probably wouldn't know very much like what you guys would need and stuff like that. He's sort of a
Just
different
be
sort of
ready
entity.
for confrontation.
You know, you've got to be aware that as an Efreet, although Efreets take like these look quite humanoid and stuff, they are truly just like beings of pure fire.
Would he be able to exist outside the city of Brass? Like, would he be able to exist in the Hellfires?
Yeah,
It's just chilling.
Oh yeah, he'd
It's
love
like
it.
walking through a fucking field, mate.
Yeah. He is fire, basically.
In the booth.
Would you like to see a photo of an Efreet?
Yeah, I got one.
The picture that I like.
I took this last week.
This is my favourite depiction of them that I really enjoy. Just think how badass.
Ah, that's cool.
Is that all funky colours, was it alright?
No, that's good. Yeah, very cool. Very Darth Maul-y.
Yeah. They remind me of like like a Japanese demon. The person who said to teleport you back was like, that was fucking weird.
Can you roll to see how many days Clownmesh has had?
Oh yeah.
He's trolley, mate.
I rolled a d8, by the way.
I'm on a d20. He's a 12.
Oh! Yes, Clownmesh!
He's just there, like at this point, like by the time you try and this stuff's kind of like popping off in a like you've moved into a tavern at this point, and there's still stuff going on outside. You're like going in and out. It's a big festival scene.
Yeah.
You see that you're kind of
There's someone like that's sort of building a stage for like the solo.
Oh, probably not in the tavern. They'll probably
No,
do it outside.
but it's like outside, next to the bonfire.
Yeah, you could. I mean, they'll probably whip one up in an instant, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
sure.
While you're in the tavern and you're kind of like at a table, like regaling stories and like getting laughs from people who have gathered round, you see that Clownmesh is kind of like sat next to you and he's like, hey! And he's like got a on his remaining good hand. You see that he's like painting like spectral stuff, and it's like kind of a bit shit because it's his bad hand and he's really drunk. And it's kind
What
of
did I
like
miss?
blasted. Oh, just stuff going on with you.
Yes, Clownmesh!
You just see these.
He's
like,
had 12 beers.
these sort of like spectral paintings kind of like grow around and dissipate a bit. Almost a little bit like Gandalf with his pipe, but his are sort of abstract at the moment.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Mine's all dead.
Mine will be soon.
And shall we like let's skip ahead a little bit?
Yeah.
Go to the next
By the end of
scene.
the night, is the pools cleaned?
Yes.
Enoch's going to take a swim in the pools.
Yeah. Skinny dip sesh.
Yeah.
Everyone celebrates into the pool. By the time you get teleported back, guys, you see that everybody's just like hanging, like there's just like a mass over the hillside. Everyone's just in the pools.
In the pools, just we're all
Skinny
naked.
dipping.
Skinny
Everyone's
dipping in the
shit-faced.
pools. Shit-faced. There's a massive bonfire.
Nice.
Yeah.
The
Everyone's
pools are filthy again.
To be fair,
they're just like, as everyone so gassed, it's like auto cleansing.
Although I would say that the pools are now very cummy.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And I can vomit. So.
to be fair, having been teleported back, initially having wanted to have stayed in the library and sort of study, if you like, being teleported back and seeing a bunch of naked dragonborn, Gesh is probably going to be very keen.
Right. Yeah, you see, you like go to walk to the library and
And, like,
Dragon's
look
just like pulling you.
And then I sort of like to sort of just take a glance and then sort of to look back and then just immediately jump on Dragos and fly.
Yeah, you just turn around and you go, sorry, doll. It's like, I roll my eyes and you go, we don't want a freet.
Despite getting a nat 20, there must be more.
Maybe you can try and find this.
Yeah. When we were in the library during the day, can I have? Made an attempt to identify some of the components.
Oh yeah, sure. So is that something you've just done, or am I helping you with this?
You need to help me with this because they're like, for example,
like
Ice
unique,
Devil blood.
unique items.
Yeah.
Yes, these are all my stuff as well.
Like I've got the Bone Devil Stinger, Horned Devil Talon. I'm going to start. You know what? How over the course of what we say like.
You were probably in mid-door for about 6 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say about 6 hours. So I say 2 of them. Try and identify 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't it take you 3 hours to identify something in a library?
Well, it's not to identify what it is. It's to
That's
identify
right,
what it
does.
could do. Yeah.
Surely there's a book of potions in the library.
Yeah, but there's not a potion on. There's not necessarily books on these extremely exotic.
Sure.
These are like
Find the
incredibly
right
rare
books.
things. Yeah. I'm going to. I think I should. Yeah, Lord Astenon's Ash will be the first thing that I would try and identify.
Okay. I would say that.
Don't tell me what it is. I'm going to go through the
Okay.
process of working out whether I can identify it, whether I succeed, and then you tell me what it is.
I'm actually going to tell you now that you won't succeed on identifying Lord Astenon's Ash at the moment.
Fine.
It's
Because it's
It's
so
too rare.
It's
I need help, basically.
Yeah, because it's not just that it's the ash of a pit fiend, which is already
Huge
extremely
pit
rare,
fiend.
but it's an incredibly high-ranking pit fiend as well, who would have had direct links with full-on deities.
Okay.
He would,
So can we say would Gesh know that or not? Like say with Dorwin's.
I would say.
Would I know
I would
not
say
to try?
to be fair, with Dorwin's help, I would.
To know not to try, I mean.
Yeah, I think you would be thinking about something. It seems unlikely. You're kind of these ultra magic ingredients you're a bit less familiar with, but this is where it's actually getting more into Dorwin's
Magical,
because
yeah.
you've got the herbs and stuff down, but he understands artifacts and like what magic weapons are made of and shit.
Okay.
So he would probably say like you're going to need a specialist for that, basically.
Okay. Then I'm going to attempt
Lest
to.
you waste it.
I'm going to attempt to identify what a horned devil talon will do,
Okay.
and the bone devil's stinger.
Yes. Okay.
Those 2 things.
So the Bone Devil Stinger is definitely going to be some big time poison related thing.
Okay.
Just like kind of a pure brutal poison.
Nice.
And the Horn Devil will probably be like a highly magical effect. What it will do is you would find that some like preliminary info you learn about what these kind of things can be used for is that they're sometimes used in the crafting of certain spells and potions that can summon these like collections of semi-sentient weapons.
Okay. So should we say for the horned devil talon, could I try and do that identification process with advantage because it's more magical and I've got Dorwin with me?
Mm-hmm.
But the bone devil stinger, I'm doing it on my own.
I would say the Bone Devil Stinger is less magical than the.
So I wouldn't do that with advantage, is what I'm saying, because it wouldn't be with the aid of Dorwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Oh, sorry, you didn't want me to tell you what it was until you'd identified.
No.
Sorry, mate.
That's all right. So I thought you were just touching on it, and then anyway.
Oh yeah, I guess that was that.
You kind of just
that's
touched on it, you
genuinely what
haven't-
it might do.
Exactly.
but
You haven't told me
specifics,
specifically
yeah,
what it
sure.
does.
How do you want to do my book, by the way? How long to make
Well, ju-
spells?
What? How long? So then, one of them's illusion, right?
One of them's illusion.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll basically say it's just double the time that it would be if it was a normal spell.
Okay.
But in like real if I was being like more realistic, I would have it take a lot longer. But that's kind of the magic of this book.
Sure.
Is that it's like
Helps.
becomes very easy. It inspires you to do the right thing,
Starts,
basically.
like, filling in bits for me.
Yeah. You find like as you're sketching symbols and stuff, it like makes alterations that you're like, good move.
And you asked about my illusion thing. Is that because it takes like will this take longer, or would that be quicker? Or
The illusion one will take essentially like the time of a normal spell, because it's normally halved because it's illusion, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
So it'll be half double, so
Okay.
normal.
So just double the level. Cool. I mean, we have 6 hours. I'll donate 2 of that to Gesh, so I've done 4 hours on one of the spells.
I'm just trying to suss out whether I could realistically, because like I'm obviously proficient in this, but
If you fail identification now, you can try again another time.
okay,
You don't have to destroy the item.
okay,
Also, check us the big Gesh when you're done.
oh yeah.
Takes a hit of the devil's horn.
Oh yeah, I did it! Oh, sick. Okay, I managed to identify the horned devil talon just
Okay.
because I did it with advantage,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bone devil stinger. Oh hell yeah! 22 for that, and I needed a 15,
Okay, nice.
so I got them both.
So mechanically, let me I'll fine tune the numbers, but you're basically from
Horned
the
devil talon, yeah. You're doing first, yeah.
From that you will create a potion, which once you make it, you see that it's like this kind of like translucent orange. Have you made the potion? Can you
No,
make it?
I've
you
just
haven't.
identified it
Oh, okay, fine.
so far. I
But
just
have you
want
got time to make it? Or
It
will take
let's
elemental
say
water
no.
anyway.
Let's say I don't have time. It's gonna take what? How long?
it will take. I'm just saying you will have to use elemental water.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's say I don't have time.
Okay,
to make one.
Alright.
Because it's such a.
Alright, but you want to know
complex.
what it
I
will
want to know
do.
what it will do. Yeah.
Okay,
Jar-
so
just-
it will basically be a potion that will have to be thrown,
Okay.
and where it lands, it will create essentially a 30-foot area of
30-foot circumference, so 15-foot radius.
and it will stay there for a minute, and you won't be able to turn it off.
Fine.
It will basically be like an area that's a mass of like summoned like tridents and swords and spears that will basically fly around in that area, sort of damaging and trapping anything in that space.
Okay.
You have an extra one of those as well, Ali. Because I
Yes,
took
maybe,
one.
yeah.
No, but you have an extra horned devil talon.
Oh,
Because I took one and it's a potion, not a poison, so I can't make it. So you can have it.
lovely. Cool.
And I'm now going to delete it from mine.
Cool. But yeah, we'll finesse the numbers when I actually make it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the bone devil stinger.
I guess you want to do that in the. Is it Elabras's?
Alchemy, yeah.
hut thing?
Alchemy hut,
You
yeah.
got all the gear
Yeah.
there.
But yeah, we're just saying that we haven't had time on this day to do that, to try and squeeze all that in. Yeah.
That was the horned devil talon, was it?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm going to say that with the we're able to identify what it does.
Yes. But sorry, with those tridents and spears, did we saying that does that hinder movement as well or not?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Which was what, like halves movement speed or something?
Yes, it will depend a little bit on the creature.
How much damage did it do?
He
It
hasn't
doesn't
said
say
yet.
it, you'll have to make it first to find out the specific damage. For the so basically with the Bone Devil one, you have a choice. So you can either make a potion that is incredibly potent and will stop you from getting poisoned, or you can make it something that you can put on a blade to create poison damage.
So could it be like an antidote or not, or would it just be a preventative thing?
But it's sort of both.
I'll take the former then. Yeah, I'll do that.
I mean, it
It gives me the option.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So, okay.
You can both have a go with it, maybe.
Oh, sorry, could you say that again? I said that.
Oh, sure, yeah. So basically, it can be a brew that will make you immune to poison. It can also be a substance that can be applied to a weapon, like normal poison.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. So, as the night kind of draws to a close, those of you who are less involved will be bedding down, and those of you who are involved will probably be sort of staying up till the wee hours as the party goes on.
Can Enoch find Gesh?
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah. Can Enoch find Gesh for the?
Because the party's that long.
You're both in the pools, and at one point, you just hear like a Gash, and you just hear Enoch, and then it just becomes this like two of them. Gash, Enoch, Gash, as you're like fighting your way
He's
through.
shouting louder and louder as
And eventually you're like looking around like this, and I just like appear up through the water, like right in front of you. Like,
and I just breathe dragonfire in the air and like elation, you know.
You see that loads of other people around you do it too, like breathing different breath weapons up into the sky.
Dragos spits his lightning into the sky as well.
I think
it's like,
Enoch
I'm
might
imagining
climb
this, like-
up onto Gesh's shoulder because he doesn't weigh very much. Probably like.
I'm imagining you
he
sort
probably
of like-
weighs about like 40 kilos. You alright carrying 40 kilos?
I'm cushy carrying 40 kilos.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. You're a big strong boy.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like as
For a 12-year-old.
as your fire goes up, although there's kind of this sort of ambient light because it's what's sort of coming from the pools, it's what people are desiring, but it's still dark. This kind of like warm orange light just kind of bathes everyone in the area as you cast up your dragon's breath.
Yeah, cool.
I've got like one hand on a shoulder like this, and I'm sitting on like one one shoulder.
And we're both
Just like putting load sticks in your mouth.
we're both completely naked as well.
Oh yeah.
Saggy goblin nuts on your shoulder.
And he's just
Very
there,
small
like,
though.
he's just there, just like flicking them like, near my face.
Just like shit face, like weird, ain't I?
And I'm just there like,
Green.
and I just go, oh, look at that funny little thing you want to see on lizard dick.
Opens cloaca.
Can I try and wingman Gash?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Unfaithful.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he can try.
You're on the road.
He can try and wingman Gash. Okay, stopping him.
Alright, I'm gonna like
It's role play.
like Nunu and Willem style, like
Oh,
dive over to some Dragonborn, like a group of like
Tipsy sorcerers.
tipsy sorcerers, and see like what's up.
Sorceresses.
Maybe like me, Gesh, and Clownmesh are like
Little
maybe I'm
squad.
getting like Clownmesh in on it, being like I'm like subtly in my mind, just like so to Gesh doesn't know. I'm like to Clownmesh, just like my boy, he's too uptight. He's got his head in the books. He needs a night of fun. He's if you know what I mean, Clownmesh. Tonight is a night for celebration. I'm sure you get it. But you're an artist, just like me.
He goes, yeah. This kind of fucks up, isn't it?
Yeah, you took a pounding, didn't you, Clammy?
Yeah. But we did it though. We did.
Yeah, we did do it. Did like in a prestidigitation, some like sparks, and they're much worse than all of what they're conjuring.
He like goes to cast a spell with his paintbrush and goes, oh, my paintbrush is all wet. Oh.
Wow, we're in
It's
the
like-
pools,
It's like
Clamish.
splurting out like globs of paint. It's like, oh.
So his wand is spurting out globs of paint, and he's going, oh.
Yeah, Clownmesh ends up, whenever you try and wingman, it ends up being a little bit too pissed.
No. I'm not trying to wingman Gesh and Clownmesh. I'm trying to get Clownmesh to have like a suggestion about like who we're gonna go and talk to, like who seems like who's a slut.
Oh. He goes. He goes like this. He grabs you. He goes. Vizela.
Gesh is gay.
Is Gesh gay or is Gesh bi?
Yeah, I guess it's gay.
Gesh is gay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's pretty
Gesh is
gay.
gay. Yeah.
He goes.
Yeah. Obviously.
What is that?
What's that? Oh, come on, Clowmesh. It's 2024, mate. It's 460, second age.
It's actually 1730. Fourth age.
Come on, Clowmesh. It's 17.
Too shit face.
It's 200 and something.
He goes, what is it?
He likes blokes, mate.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't everyone?
Yeah, but... Oh, you don't know the word.
No. What
That's just what we call it.
Why is that? Why?
Why do we call the sky blue? I don't know. I'm not a linguist. You want to talk to Darwin, mate?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Either way, we need to find Visela if you want something.
Okay. So we're gonna go and find. We're gonna go and see if Visela's knocking around these pools.
So wait, Gesh is with you now.
Yeah. I'm sitting on Gesh's shoulders. I'm speaking through my mind.
Yeah.
He's sat on my shoulder, fiddling with his nuts while telepathically communicating with Cloudmash about getting me.
So the Ifrit can hear everything that's going on, right? Because he's been listening in.
Oh, he's with Get.
Oh no, my pack's like.
He's naked.
Fine.
Yeah, my pack's
He's not
like.
naked with a backpack on.
I was just picturing this guy's been like, let's make this contract.
Yeah, well,
take me home.
mate.
And then he's just hearing you trying to pull some.
We could do like little, like blackout memories of like highlights of the night. I'm imagining like when you're pissed and like you end up comparing dicks and you're there like, oh look at this, and Gesh is just like, yeah, it's like. Mine is perfectly smooth. You're so there, like, just like various little smatterings of activity. I can't imagine Visela would go particularly far with. As in, I don't think Gesh would probably end up going particularly far with Visela.
No, not after now. Like when it comes to sort of like a romance sense, he longs for Poirus to some extent, but there's a certain element of his mind now that is just truly been replaced by Khazal.
Oh, bestial Gesh.
Right, donkey.
Yeah, maybe like. Whoa, has that gone? Oh no, I thought it was pages the wall. You find that like this after having like encouraged Khazal.
Where are the metallic dragons, by the way?
They're flying around.
Are they still like?
Yeah, they're still here.
Did any of them get drawn into the procession?
I imagine probably some of the I forget which colour it is. The bronze. Yeah, some of the bronze dragons would be involved. Yeah, they're like
that's cool.
Pretty fun.
Nice.
None of the gold dragons. Oh, the gold dragons would probably be like observing and feeling cheerful. The silver dragons.
Yeah, but they're all pious, though, aren't they?
The gold dragons.
Well, the gold dragon that we interacted with.
You didn't interact with the gold dragon.
Oh, it was the silver one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he was pious.
Yeah, the silver ones are kind of like just working away or kind of flying in the skies, observing stuff. The gold ones would be enjoying the festivities, but not necessarily getting stuck in themselves.
Right.
And then bronze dragons are just up for a laugh, always jumping around.
Cool.
You see that as well, like when you get to the one of the memories as well that you have is that up at the top pool. You see that like right next to the bonfire. You see that like Khazal is like laying on his back, kind of like sat up with his wings are spread. And it's just
what
like,
by the bonfire? Sorry.
Yeah, right at the bonfire, like near the pools and near the main big pool. And you see that there's just like maybe like 60 or 70 Dragonborn just like sat in his wing case. And everyone's kind of like chatting away like around the bonfire. It's just like a chill out spot is Khazal's wings. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, festivities ensue. It's a wonderful time, and you see that the following day.
Mad blue. Sorry.
It's alright. The following day, Enoch, you have a very hazy memory of Gesh saying something about a red dude who was in a bottle or something, but you're not really sure what the fuck he was on about, but it stuck with you a little bit.
Was he present when we summoned him?
No.
Oh, he not?
No, I've been the whole day.
Despite the fact that we tried to telepathically.
I'd had 4 beers and was having too much fun, so I didn't come.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and
I did wonder why you weren't role playing it. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm saying
You went there. Fair enough.
and in the morning, there's a point where.
by the way, there was a point to my party as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Enoch is trying to get a statue. Right. One was have a bath in the cleansing pools, and I'd actually like to say I don't really have a hangover because I've spent so much time in the top
pool.
Yeah,
okay.
So
Yeah,
that's one effect that I would suggest.
Yeah, you've long rested but not slept.
And then the second thing is Enoch really is trying to get a statue in the Dwarf Peaks of the kayaks.
Okay.
Like members of the kayaks in a heroic pose. So half of what he was doing was going to be on Cloud Mesh and his artistic friends.
Yeah.
Just to network to see if we can get a statue.
Yeah, no.
That would be pretty cool.
I think given all the effort
just
that
before they all leave the place.
Yeah, I know,
no
great,
one
right.
sees it.
only a few of them are leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of them are staying.
Fair.
So I would say that what's the yeah, that's the one. So
dice.
in you managed to get at some point in the night, people would have came together and with your input and their abilities would have sort of magically crafted a statue that they're putting in Lyrith, which is
what pose would Polana have in the statue?
I'm the artist. I get to decide.
which is
I like the thought of that everyone being hammered though, so the statues come out really sloppy. And none of us, really
the bronze
look like,
bronze bust of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, exactly.
Balmesh demands it go in Lyrith, which is near where his house was.
Yeah, lovely.
Because he wants to. When he's shit faced, he's like, I want to see it every day.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, what pose would she have if you could choose?
Probably quite the same as my Hero Forge one, to be fair. Kind of like, no, that's quite overstated for Polana. It's lame.
Maybe shield.
Yeah, kind of shield up, sword.
That's Dorwin.
It's going to be like Gesh and Polana standing back to back.
Yeah,
as
like
the
a
tallest
buddy
people.
cop.
Polana with her shield like here, her hands like this, like back to back with her sword pointing down like that. With like no helmet on, just in her like flowing hair like on her shoulders. Gesh is going to be back to back, like drawing his bow like that, like shooting over the top, and there's going to be like a magical so the sculpture's going to stop, and then arrows like coming out of
Floating.
Yeah, floating just in front, but like it's kind of got like. Or if you like, like the Mona Lisa's always looking at you. It's like always got like motion blur, so you always feel like it's coming like right at you if you're like looking at it.
That's cool.
Dragos.
Can I say Great Dragos would be stood directly in front of Polana and Gesh, with them sort of back to back facing that way, and he would be sort of wings spread, sort of spitting his lightning up into the arrow, and then maybe that would give it its sort
I was gonna have looking frontally at it.
He's there, mate.
Yeah. No, but we can decide. But I was gonna have Dragos behind everyone as like massive wings, like encircling everyone, like that, and then like breathing like his lightning into the sky around it to like light up the statue itself.
Yeah, I like that's cool, but I wouldn't say he's that big.
Maybe Khazal's in that position and Dragos is at the front.
Nah, Khazal's not in it.
No. He's not for kayaks, is he?
He's not for kayaks.
Yeah, he is.
He's basically the guy.
Yeah, but he-
100% for kayaks.
Yeah.
He's literally said, we are the kayaks to you guys.
Yeah,
That's so funny if we were just like, no, you're not.
yeah,
You're out,
he's not
mate.
in it,
Yeah.
actually. He doesn't make
Jack
it.
Black in Community.
He'll probably get
Yeah,
it.
He wants to be part
Yeah,
of
but
the
I'm not. Fine, okay, yeah, Dragos can be smaller.
For Dorwin, I'm just going to say something that.
Yeah.
So don't describe Dorwin.
Okay.
I'm just going to say that in the morning when you at one point you're walking around and you come across the statue in Lyrith, and you see that in your pose you've got the dagger in the statue.
Sure.
And whether that's something you trust to be comfortable here or it's something that worries you is up to you.
Yeah, I'd probably just use a bit of mould earth to change the look of the dagger.
Sure,
And
yeah.
also my face a little bit, so it doesn't really look like me.
Yeah, fine, yeah. Just because he's
Yeah, cool.
framed out about it.
Yeah. Can you mould earth like marble?
No, but
Fair enough.
okay.
What? So yeah. so to finish it, you have Gesh and Polana back to back, and then where would Dorwin, Rudy, and Enoch be? The statue.
So Rudy is they're back to back like that. So then we're gonna have.
'Cause I feel like we would be at the
then
back.
we're gonna have
wouldn't we?
then we're gonna have a Dorwin at the front of everyone. With with a book and then the dagger like Voldemort style. And then obviously the book has like this magic.
Arthritis lets him do that.
Isn't that a bit like showy for what?
Yeah, but it's Enoch.
I wouldn't have chosen that.
No.
Oh no, that's what
I mean, I wouldn't have chosen to have a statue of myself. But
Rudy is.
I love that we just come down and we're all in these really flamboyant poses.
Yeah.
and then Jamesy is 20 foot tall, pissing all of us.
It's actually James.
I'm open to suggestions about Rudy, whether she's an animal or herself, or like
I think
she
mid,
may be her,
like
like,
mid-change
transition,
into like the back of her is this like grizzly bear, and like she's like morphing into Rudy.
Just with a woman's face.
Flat. It's like a dude in a bear costume.
Or is she a bear or?
I think bear would be
Yeah,
good.
she's the opposite of a centaur.
Yeah.
Human legs, horse face.
Oh yeah, that. And then
So normal then.
An equifolk.
And then Enoch is, he's the one that the most detail has gone into Enoch, unfortunately. So Enoch is, his stone bust is actually moving and it's teleporting around the whole of the group.
Statue.
And he's like pinging like cards that get progressively bigger, and all the cards have an eye on them.
Nice. Very cool.
Got a
Okay.
flamboyant tip.
Nice.
You did say becoming renowned as a party works in our favour around Irrigest.
Yeah. Seamus is the most insular community in the whole world.
Oh, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But like, I'm
you
pretty
guys-
confident
People
that
are really
the.
renowned, right?
I'm also pretty
Relatively
confident
around
that the Dragonborn leaving the Drovnar Peaks and venturing out into the world are gonna probably spread the word of the kayaks, because I've been singing songs about us for
Wouldn't they be
12
like
hours.
be hiding who they are a bit? So they're probably not going to be doing that.
Yeah, but they'd probably talk about this sick adventure party.
Yeah.
And also, every inhabitant of Kulin Crest would know the kayaks, and that's a pretty, lots of commerce goes in and out of Kulin Crest.
And like all the soldiers from Eastbourne.
Yeah, the Sons of
so
Moradin
they
and
would
stuff.
spread it all around.
Yeah.
Something about it like, these absolute pussies.
Okay. So the following day, you guys are sort of stood around at one point. You maybe leave a tavern for breakfast, and you see that Khazal comes flying down, and as he kind of lands in front of you, he says,
Gesh kneels before him.
"Okay, nice."
And I said,
telling you to
such
sit.
a-
A true member of the
Kayaks.
The heart and soul of our.
I would never doubt you, but just don't look at that statue.
And me and Ivana just go like, "Ah, such a bitch, eh?"
he kind of lands and he says, great party, Enoch. He says, radical. Totally rad. I learned that from a Dragon Ball.
Because I had a good night then.
He says, I must say, my time in the cleansing pools has benefited me greatly. I think with the aid of Mana's influence, I have managed to recall the location of Bahamut's scale. I suggest we move there with much haste, and between you and I am much keen to escape the watchful eye of these metallic dragons.
I couldn't agree more, Khazal. Bunch of uptight, proud, arrogant arseholes, if you ask me. We showed him though.
He says, indeed, he says, I haven't thanked you for your aid in that encounter, and at this point you both remember that he thanked you multiple times last night. That was clearly doesn't quite recall. And
how many pints did he have?
yeah, he was drinking barrels.
roll a D100.
Okay.
Is he hungover? Dragons don't get hungover. Ah, shit.
How did that one escape? Yeah. He had 23 barrels.
Nice.
Of
And how much did that
wine
affect
and
him?
ale. He was drunk. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he doesn't remember talking to us about
Yeah.
thankiness, so pretty blackout.
Yeah.
And also as well, the idea that it would have been like Dragonborn like heaving barrels up to him for him to grab between his claws and just like just crush.
And like some of it just like goes down his chin and
like,
shit.
yeah. And like you can't touch it because you'll get an electric shock. It dribbles down.
He's like got a barrel with like the tap holes like pouring out. He's just like
We must tell you.
At one point you see that somebody like sorry, I don't know.
No, go on.
I like the idea that somebody is,
Go on.
at some point like somebody like magics up a barrel and just like zaps it.
And everyone's like,
That's
whoa!
yeah.
It's like a little party trick.
So just
And
to
then
fill
like
you
the
in-
metallic dragons like shoot him a look,
Yeah.
like from him like showing off
Yeah,
his
yeah,
powers.
I like to think that Khazal was like shooting out lightning breath and I was like dodging it in a like drunken game.
yeah. It's like, he's just doing like little spurts. So
at your feet.
Can I just as a funny idea as well? I can imagine him when one of those where you throw a barrel in the air, one of the metallic dragons sort of flies down, and as they fly down, both naked Gesh and Enoch jump up and go, "You want to go?"
I'm fucking out,
you're like completely naked, try and grab an arrow. So Khazal basically said that he can take you to the location of Bahamut Scale.
I was going to ask about that, yeah.
And the final point, any like from my performance, any like offerings that adoring fans brought.
I mean, take like you can have offerings if you want, but I'm not going to add anything mechanically. But you find it's a mix of some things which to you seem very interesting and valuable, and some things which are extremely sentimental but essentially worthless.
Okay.
Like carvings and things like that.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, oh, thanks.
Cool. Actually, on that note, I would like to add some engravings from would there be like a crest or like a sigil of some kind of?
Oh yeah, the inscription on the plinth reads like "Here stands the kayaks, defenders of the Drovnar Peaks."
Cool. Not what I was going to ask, but that's cool. I like that. I was going to say, do these Dragonborn have their own sort of like crest or sigil or anything like that? They've got no sort of emblem or anything.
They've never had any need for one.
No. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Well, maybe I'd just like to maybe for flavour, just add some kind of engraving or carving to Elven Absolution from one of the Dragonborn. True sight or something like that, just written and engraved.
Maybe they
into
carve in almost like a hieroglyph, which looks
in,
like.
in Draconic.
No, I was going to say like a
left the boy
this
band.
ancient sort of language, which perhaps one of the people there was a lexicographer or something, and they carved in like a very ancient hieroglyph from the original dragon tongue, which basically depicts like the pools of the Drovnat Peaks sort of thing, but like in a very like simplest, in a very minimalist way.
Yeah, nice.
Okay, so
We're chatting to Khazal, aren't we?
yes.
We must tell you of Iskandar, the genie who summoned before us this previous day.
You what,
You
mate?
summoned the Efreet.
You what, mate?
He, yes, Enoch, we reached out to you, but you were too busy in frivolity.
I regret nothing.
He says, and did anything good come of it? I understand he would have known Corvexus well.
He made a plea with us. We were very cautious to enter an agreement with him, but Dorwin has an extensive knowledge on these genies, and we have decided to enter a pact with him.
Am I there?
Yeah, we're all there.
Come again? You did what?
It turned out to be the High Tajar, Khazal. And yeah, he says he knows where he can find the near Haran Inverness.
In fact, and with that, where are we, by the way, right now? Because if he's flown down, we're out in the open somewhere.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of people around or not?
There's probably a few around, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to get the bottle out of my pack and pop the cork. He
Okay.
can see him for himself.
Okay.
Okay.
With the kayaks, mate.
Yeah,
As-
but these people are terrified. They've just had half of their population
I've
decimated
done
by
it.
demons.
I've done it.
As it kind of like bursts out, it stands there, and you see that some of the people around like look shocked, and I imagine you maybe say
Yeah,
something.
we could say like maybe Polana would say, or like Gesh would certainly say, "Be calm. It is in hand."
And you see that Khazal kind of like rears his fangs, and you see that Ixander, as he sort of stood there, as he sort of emerges, he says, "Ah, Khazal, I have heard much about you. I am Mozaffar Eddin Shak Ixander Umar, the High Tujar of Kalyan, and I know that you were once imprisoned, much as I am." And Khazal sort of says, "What bargain have you made with my friends?" He says.
Who went into a bargain with this guy?
He kind of steps over and he looks down, and you can, as he steps closer, you can feel this like, just this like primal heat like radiating off of him.
Is he on fire?
No,
No, he's just.
he's got red skin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as he comes over, I go, "Spicy one, you are."
He goes, and you must be. Oh, hang on. What's his voice? And fuck. And you must be this quick-witted Enoch.
Scan on.
Ever a funny thing to say, don't you? Well, your friends here have agreed to set me free back in the elemental plane of fire. You will be making a journey to the city of Brass. In exchange...
I'll be having words with you lot later. This is not what I signed up for.
In exchange, I will grant you the information of the location of near Harin Avernus. And
Did we already know who that was, by the way?
Well, that is.
Near Harden.
That's the place
It's
where
the
the
place
guys, where Croconis are, their base of operations.
So yes, we did know that.
It's where the skull of the Dragonborn is, or the dragon is, that they need to do the ritual. It's
And also probably where Lord Aspinall has been banished.
and also where
No,
there is
it's
No, he's gone back to the fucking Hells now.
Or is that not the gateway to the Nine Hells? Is near Avernus? Though?
It's so Nearhar and Avernus is like that's the name of the place that is the entrance to the Nine Hells.
Yeah.
But it's not the Nine Hells.
Is it like a city or is it like a stronghold in itself? Is that what we do? Like, does that? I'm asking if we know that. Sort of
You don't
thing.
know.
No. Okay, fine.
You just know it's a place.
Also, it's where they were taking the 43 captured dragons.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah.
At this, Khazal says, I warn you to tread carefully with this Iskander here, the High Tujar. They, Ifriti, are famously unpredictable. And at this, Iskander says, well, in this situation it will be an eye for an eye. Isn't that right, Verkaex?
What do you mean an eye for an eye, mate?
He kind of like walks over to you, kind of stands like towering above you. And you're looking up rather defiantly, I imagine.
Yeah.
And he just says, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth.
And you're the king of this place, you say?
I am no king. I am the High Tujar. I am the master of incense in the Kilnspire.
Or
Must be why you're so spicy.
Or certainly he was prior to being entrapped in this vessel.
And when you say master of incense, you don't mean some chimney sweep.
I mean the most valuable incense you can find in all of the realms. I manufacture, create. There is nothing like it.
And what this incense do?
What do you think incense does?
Smells nice.
Exactly.
That's it. Doesn't have any magical properties at all.
It certainly, its magic is in its sense itself.
Okay. So you work in the perfume industry. I had a brother that did that.
Isn't that interesting?
And with that, I'd like sort of sensing the conversation's coming to a bit of a close. I sort of usher him back into the bottle again.
Enoch can't resist making a giant being like, back in your bottle.
Yeah, fair enough. Very, very Enoch. And he kind of
go on.
gets in as he goes in more. Obviously, he says, "I trust you to hold up your end of the bargain." He says as he dissipates back into the bottle.
And as he just returning into the bottle, the last wisp, I say, "You are in our hands." I put him firmly back in my pack.
Sure.
We get
Hey,
carry
Dorian.
on.
What is what's
Hang on.
Go on.
Okay, sorry.
yeah. What's incense got to do with anything? Why does that guy know where anything is?
Where anything is?
How does he know where the gateway to the Nine Hells are if he's an incense maker? How important is this incense?
He's the High Tujar. He's the Lord of Incense.
And
An extremely well respected rank in the fire
City of Brass.
What's the City of Brass?
It's just like the only place things like sort of live in a normal way.
Corvexus
It's
was able
also-
to enslave him in some way, and he was of great renown and therefore had great sway and power over his realm.
I see.
He learned secrets through overhearing Corvexus.
He overheard conversations that we have had and we hold dear, so I can imagine he has heard the same being in Corvexus's possession.
Seems like he might know more than he's letting on then, eh?
One of the things that you would know as well is that out of all of the inner planes, so not the outer ones, so elemental, Feywild, everything, the City of Brass is also famous for having just like by far the greatest military. They're like the America of the inner planes.
Okay.
They're kind of unfuckable.
Nation.
Yeah, literally.
Cool.
With this, Khazal says, I believe your journey to the plane of fire could end up taking some time. I urge for now that we make our way to the scale. Any information that we can gain from Bahamut will be sorely needed for what is to come. And for now, knowledge is power.
Yes, tell us of the scale. What have you recalled?
With the help of Mana and Terry, from bathing in the pools and spending my time here in the Dropnar Peaks,
Terry.
so connected to the gods, I have been able to recall the location of where I bought the scale. I was just about able to hide it from Proconis, and now I also remember the torture I endured for such an act. I can take us there. It is not but a few days flight from here. I urge we travel there as soon as possible.
You bought the scale.
I brought.
Oh, I thought you said bought.
No. How much was it?
Okay.
Sounds like that's what we should do then. Iskandar can wait, I'm sure. He's been trapped long enough.
Indeed, he can wait, as Gesh speaks purposely to his pack.
The bottle in your back.
And I still think we're getting a rum end of the deal. I think this Iskandar might compensate us for our troubles. And I knock the bottle. Isn't that right, friend?
You don't hear any response.
He'll come round.
Chilling in his Pokeball.
I propose that we gather provisions and prepare potions before we make the next step of our quest, because we do not know what awaits us beyond these peaks.
As in here in the peaks. Okay. Can we skip through that? Because I want to get out of the peaks.
Alright.
But can we say it's happened
Alright,
over
cool.
the course of a day or something?
Right, cool. Can I make some potions in the background?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool. You carry on.
Can you teach me? I won't make one now, but I'm going to say that
I can start learning.
I'm going to start learning from Gesh.
Okay.
Would I have had a chance to find somebody that could have got rid of my whip?
Okay, yeah, we can. Shall we retcon some time and stuff? And
We can not if you want to get out.
Why don't we skip forward and then
Well,
basically
afterwards,
we'll just retcon some stuff.
yeah, so I've got information for you about it, but basically there's nothing you can do about it here in the Dropnar Peaks, but you could have gained the information you need to to start a potential process.
Okay.
Do you want to later on? Do you want to role play you learning the information, or should I just tell you what?
You just tell me. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay, so basically, while it's not like concrete at the moment, they basically say that you're going to have to learn about one of the deities, Yinogu, who is kind of Lord of the Knolls, and the curse you've been afflicted with is kind of closely tied with the powers of Yinogu. And that it will basically, to remove it, you will have to go, essentially go on quite a dark path to uncover this kind of knowledge, because Yinogu and the sort of god of hyenas, that they very much hold precedence in like the realms of complete chaos. They're these sort of cannibalistic scavenger people, and they say that the whip that's in your hand is identifiable as something called a thorn of chaos, and you will essentially need to find another thorn of chaos to wrench it out of you.
Okay.
So that's what you're going to be sort of trying to research and learn about.
What was the name of the person?
Who helped you out? Oh, of the god?
Yeah.
Yinogu.
Yunogu, how do I spell them?
I think it's Yeenoughu, I think.
Yunogu. And they're the king of the gnolls.
Yeah, so they're a full-on deity, basically. So they're not saying that you necessarily need to...
Find them.
Yeah, you don't have to interact with Yunogu, but that's where the source of this thing's power is drawn from.
Cool, alright. Nice.
Yeah, I did spell it right. Okay, so with that, you guys spend a day or two gathering supplies, preparing, bidding farewells to people.
And in amongst gathering supplies, Polana can add a potion of heroism to her inventory.
Oh, nice.
What does that do?
You will see. It's on.
It's on the
It's on D&D.
And you guys take to the skies with Khazal, and as you're journeying, you find that in the evenings when you kind of sit down to rest, you will get up to your own little bits and bobs. I imagine Rudy's probably spending more time in her animal forms as well, occasionally flying alongside Khazal in various forms of flight.
Gesh will relish being out back in the wilds as well.
Yeah, it's like you feel like while the Drobnar Peaks is undeniably sort of beautiful and natural in its own right, there's something about just the wild air that's more familiar. It's like not as radiant, but in that its sort of imperfections are almost more comforting because it's familiarity. And you kind of, on these journeys, you sort of reflect on your time at the Drobnar Peaks and everything that happened. And you find that in the evenings during your downtime, at one point, you're sort of sat around the campfire. You see Dorwin's kind of been off for a minute because he's been just his head buried in his books. You see that all day, even on the back of Khazal, he's still trying to work away. And at one point, you just hear this little sound calling for help.
Guys, come over here quick.
And as those of you who do kind of hurry over, you see that there's Dorwin. There's like a form of Dorwin which is sort of stood next to you, and he's kind of like just doing these weird actions. And actual Dorwin, you can see that kind of half of his shoulder and leg and like a portion of his torso is just like clipped into a tree, like a glitch, and he's just kind of stuck in this tree. Just like doesn't really know, can't really get, is a bit stuck basically.
What you done, Dorwin?
Dorwin, what happened? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's a bit tight, but I think I'm unhurt. I was just trying to come up with a spell, but it's tricky, and it went a little bit wrong this time.
Okay. Well, let's try and get you out of there.
Please.
would maybe Ruddy have an idea because we're out in the wild.
Yeah, but she's off being a beast in the woods.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, she's leaping through the trees as a jaguar. Dorwin, you would know that you.
In fact, I'm not there either. I'm foraging for ingredients. I'm not there.
You would know that you were one of the things you were trying to do was, while testing what the best way to do this is, whether it's just to do arcane or some sort of planar stuff, whatever. You know that a portion of you got sort of half stuck in the ethereal, and when you sort of remanifested, fragments of your body.
That's right.
Just a trail of destruction.
Very tight.
Portions of your physical form have remained in the tree, which you would have been trying to pass through, and kind of glitched out as you did. Or were you?
I was going to say, can I have plant growth? Can I use that to try and kind of shape the tree around him and like kind of?
Yeah. Give it a go. So what is it that you start doing?
So I'll kind of kneel by the tree, put my hand on it, and again just kind of muttering under my breath. Does it works? Or
So the tree starts to like shift and like become like you can feel the magic as it pours into it. You can hear it kind of creaking and groaning as it's starting to become malleable.
So it's kind of the rest of it is kind of flourishing and growing, but as it's kind of starting to do that and writhing and moving, I'm just gonna kind of like right at the top above Dorwin, just kind of stick my hands straight through and just kind of like separate my hands down like this and just kind of slowly, gently like carve it out and carve a bit of space without like damaging the tree or hurting it.
Okay, yeah, sure. So kind of as you go, it kind of like merges and opens up and kind of like creaks and groans as it does so, and any time you sort of accidentally splinter off a bit of bark, you kind of briefly concentrate to get it to regrow so it's not open to disease and things like that. And as you kind of unshape Dorwin's hand, it kind of takes a little while as you're kind of like passing your hand over where you think his arm is and things like that to make sure you're not doing anything wrong. In fact, why don't you give me some kind of check?
Arcana?
As this is happening, I'm sort of going, as it sort of like rubs past bits, pictures a finger and stuff.
Maybe make, fuck it, do an Arcana, I suppose. Maybe a nature.
Let's do a nature.
Sure.
Let's do an Arcana.
What have you got?
No, 10 for nature.
Okay, fine. So you find that you are able to after a little while, you're able to get him out, but with quite a few little yelps from Dorwin in the process. And Dorwin, you find that you, at least for now, you've kind of got these like little chunks of wood that are like in your arm and the side of your body. They don't hurt, but they're sort of in you in like almost like a video game glitch. They're just kind of present in your body at the moment.
They haven't actually like displaced mine.
No. There's been no displacement. Yeah. They're just present and it's kind of weird and they don't like you can't
occupying the same space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like it's a magical error.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Polana. That was pretty uncomfortable.
What were you doing?
I was just practicing some new spells.
Maybe practice them away from trees in the future, in an open plain.
Yeah, I think that might be wise.
What's going on with this other you? Why is there another?
He's just there, like doing weird little movements.
just vibing, man. He's just loving it.
Occasionally, he like tries to cast a spell.
Okay.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about him.
I'm a little worried.
Don't really. You might see a few of them.
Okay.
And I just click and dispel it.
I was actually thinking you might be maybe you go to do that, but it just remains.
And she goes, oh.
And you have a sort of uncomfortable but slightly comedic feeling that this might be an eternal illusion. Just in the woods, in a random place in a drop-now peak.
Okay. Just forever.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, give me a minute.
And I'm like trying to like do stuff to like cancel the guy.
And he's just dancing about.
like flickering and just staying there.
I love the idea that one day when like a supermassive black hole gobbles up the universe, all that remains is just an incorporeal Dorwin just like doing weird shit. Like fake casting spells. And after a minute of you doing that, you're just sort of like, I think we should leave him be.
Maybe he'll go by himself.
Okay. And so you guys kind of enjoy the Gesh, you're enjoying kind of truly hunting again as well. And
I'm hunting I'm just getting out and about and like hunting and looking for potion ingredients and stuff like that.
Can I add a few more hours till my spell learnings?
Yeah, we'll say each evening of downtime you're probably, in among helping people with the camp and stuff, you probably get about 3 hours or so.
Sure. Can I also make a note that whenever we're camping, I'm making sure to sleep on stone, on bare rock.
Oh yeah, sure. Maybe you sleep on Khazal and stuff sometimes, like while he's here.
If he'd allow it.
Oh, well, on Khazal, you don't. You're under Khazal.
It's a Khazal sandwich. With tiny bread. Yeah, and so after a little while, a couple more days of travel, you eventually arrive on this mountain, along this mountain top, and you can see that this one kind of juts out a little bit higher than the others, and the more perceptive of you would see this kind of almost like white crystal sort of hole down at the base of the mountain. And Khazal says, yes, there it is below us.
What is it, like a cave?
Mhm.
Like, okay, cool.
He says, I'll take us down. And as you begin to sort of descend, he kind of does one loop around the mountain and then arrives down at the base of this cave. And you see it's sort of in a bit of a sort of natural, dry valley that leads into the foot of the mountain. There's kind of trees growing up around the sides, and you can see the area where Khazal landed clearly in distress before, because there's these old broken trees around which have like things growing on them and stuff like that. He says, I remember coming here. My landing was a little rough. He says, I used my lightning breath to create this cavern. And in front of you, you can see the kind of like jutting into the mountain. As you look down, you can see that it forks off like lightning. Is this cave that's large enough to contain a dragon, basically, and it's just full of these kind of pale, almost slightly yellow, creamy crystals. These giant, almost like amethysts, kind of construct all of the walls and floor of the cave as it kind of delves into the mountainside. And he says, Bahamut's scale lies within.
You were able to bring the scale here while under the control of the cult of Krakonis.
He says, shortly after I collected the scale, although it burned me and gave me the scars you see before you, as he holds out his hand, he says, I could feel Orenthor's presence like I'd never felt it before, and through him, and surely through the aid of Bahamut, I was able to bring the scale to safety. Shortly after I left it here, whether it was my will or Orenthor's, I'm not sure, but any memory of this cavern was lost to me.
Is it big enough for him to come in as well?
Yeah, he can go in for a bit. And as you guys begin heading in, you suddenly hear this sort of like low rumbling voice, just sort of this this sort of almost like a little song coming from deep in the crystal caverns. And as you
can we make like a perception check of some kind?
yeah, there's no need to be honest.
Right.
As you begin to make your way further in, you see this kind of enormous form. It's about sort of 10 to 12 feet tall, quite lanky, and you can see that just in the darkness, you can see this creature is kind of like creating these little carvings and shapes on the crystals themselves as it's kind of humming this little song to itself and speaking in this strange tongue. Can any of you speak giant?
No.
Just double check that, but it is called giant.
I haven't got it on my D&D Beyond, but in my backstory I had shit to do with giants. So
Did you not have them as a favoured enemy?
no,
I think you maybe did originally, and we took it off, did we?
no, but gnomes.
Gnomes?
Yeah. Quite the opposite, really.
I mean, to be fair, my favourite enemy would probably be a gnome.
No, because I think I. Oh, well, whatever. Nah, it's fine, go on.
I mean, fucking love killing. No.
Just been itching. And everyone here can see in the dark, basically. Kind of.
And all it was is because I finished writing my backstory after I made my character. So anyway,
Yeah, fair.
Gesh has had interaction. Gesh has been in battle with giants, so that doesn't necessarily mean
Probably
he
not
knows
the best time to learn their language. But yeah, so okay, that's fine. You, Dorwin, with your Ring of Understanding, these bizarre, wild carvings and shapes that you can see kind of like in the very entrance of the cave, they weren't there, but they are here. They're all like incredibly swirly and strange and like very abstract and unusual. What you're looking at basically is a stone giant. But normally stone giants, their sort of runes and carvings are very direct and methodical and very representative of neatness and order and that kind of thing. And these are just all over the place. In the darkness as well, you can see that sort of draped over this giant as they're carving away. They're kind of covered. They've got all these like objects that are like hanging off them. It's got this kind of pale grey skin. And this sort of like dizzy smile on its face. The objects that it's got,
dizzy as in like confused.
just kind of like, just like a bit aloof.
Does he look like he's in some kind of a trance? Then?
A little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Like he's bewitched.
Sort of.
Right.
And how close is he to us?
At the moment, he's about 40 feet away. You'd have seen him as you came around the corner.
And is he aware of us?
At the moment, no. I'll just finish describing him first. And he basically all of these these random little objects he's got. Like you see, he's got like the bottom half of a rabbit on his shoulder, and he's sort of got like these little random stones and stuff. And you notice that some of the objects, like even the organic ones, like feathers and different trinkets that he's found out in the world. Some of them have actually started to kind of get encased in stone on its own body. But yeah, it's kind of merrily carving away, doesn't seem to have noticed you just yet.
But we are still on Khazal, right?
No, we're not on him.
Oh,
he's
but
in the
he's
cave
with us.
too. Yeah.
Okay. Is he sort of taking point, or is he? Or
I mean, he's probably just poked his head round the corner while you guys are sort of stood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll probably pipe up and say, guys, watch out! This might be a dreamwalker.
What's that, mate?
Well, giants like this, they usually live underground, but seeing as this cave isn't attached to the Underdark, I could have only got here from the Overground. Is that what it's called?
That's what Underdark people would call
Sure.
it. Yeah.
And giants don't belong in the Overground. They can't understand it. To them, it's like a dream. They don't think it's real. Ones that live, stone giants are usually quite peaceful, but ones that enter the overworld, they lose touch with reality. They think they're dreaming, and as such have no respect for life or their actions at all. They can even go mad if they lose themselves up here. This one, with all its belongings, it's seeming to attach to itself. That's usually indicative that they're slowly losing their mind. While not inherently aggressive, they have no problem in causing chaos. We ought to be careful.
Does it have any weapons on it?
Silent kill.
he's
no,
just
it's not
painting, is he? You say?
Yeah, he's just carving.
He's just carving. Okay. Okay.
Can I try and use my time to send him to sleep?
Use your. Oh yeah, if you want to.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find where it is.
Just while you're trying to find that.
Yeah.
I'll do a lap of it.
Do you remember when you
Do the round back.
created it? What was it called?
What was the thing you have that lets you do this?
My tongue, my silver tongue.
It might be called the tongue thing. It's probably
Where's
maybe a feat.
Khazal? In relation.
So you guys are sort of stood and you're sort of looking at the giant, and you see it's enamoured with its work. As you're kind of looking at it, you see that as you begin to notice that it's really not detecting your presence really, you kind of just are getting a bit more comfortable with kind of standing and looking at it. You see that Khazal's kind of peering around as well. But so like the cave goes in, and then imagine the cave like forks out like a lightning bolt. And so some of the corners are quite sudden, and so you guys would be just round the corner witnessing him maybe 40 feet down this corridor.
And is in effect sort of blocking our path down one of these corridors, is he? Or is he just like against a wall, just sort of carving?
There's room to go around him, but
I might
yeah,
say
you're not sure. You're not sure if he's dangerous or not.
Okay, well,
I might say to Khazal, like, you remember this guy?
Yeah, Khazal, what do you make of this?
He just sort of like gestures to leave the cave, and as you guys come back out, he just says, I have no memory of that creature in this area. As Dorwin surmised, it seems to be some kind of stone giant that's lost its mind. I have heard of such creatures living deep below the earth. I have never seen one up here.
Perhaps we approach him in peace, but if he is in our way between us and Bahamut's scale, well, we must get past him.
At this, Khazal says, I feel as though while it is here, it appears to be harming nobody. I would urge us not to engage in battle.
I can try putting it to sleep, Khazal, with one of the modifications that was given to me in the Drovnar Peaks.
Oh, sorry, did you?
It's
Yes.
I need to refill it. It's going to burn its coil in a sec. Do you think that would be a sound course of action? It would slumber for 8 hours, so we would have time to explore the caves.
Yes, if what Dorwin says is true and they live in this dreamlike state, I can't imagine putting it to sleep would cause it any distress.
Okay.
Polano, are you confident that the spell will succeed?
I've never used this before, so I can't say for certain how strong it is or if it will work. But it seems
to let you down so far.
Yeah, it seems like our safest course of action for now.
Perhaps I could cast Pass Without Trace on us, and we could move through silently, not disturbing him at all.
Do we not need to get past him? Yeah.
Adds a +10 to yourself.
What's wrong with sneaking past him?
Surely a dragon can't sneak past him.
He's
Yeah,
got
Khazal's
he's
not
cast
Okay.
Khazal's temper.
You probably wouldn't even, because Khazal would have said that he probably wouldn't want to get too close to the scale anyway, because it doesn't mesh with his being.
Enoch wanders past the troll, the giant, and flicks him off behind his back.
Okay.
We're not in a cave at the moment.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Enoch
Can
wanders
we
around.
look?
Sure, okay, what'd you roll?
29.
You rolled a
Nice.
39, mate.
39. Oh, sorry, yeah,
Oh,
with
yeah.
Pass Without Trace. 39, sorry.
The only thing with just simply walking past him or sneaking past him is we don't know what he's going to do or where he's going to go in the future. He could follow us and find us. He could stumble across us, and when we come back out, we'd have to do the same thing, as opposed to putting him to sleep now. We can still sneak past him, but it might be worth a go.
Try.
Go for it, man. 19.
Yes.
If you want to do
Alright.
it, just do it. Just
I'll
take
leave
charge.
that done.
Yeah, take charge.
Yeah, so, I won't describe it until he's got to do a charisma save? Con save.
Okay.
And he's got to beat it.
Oh
yeah.
Constitutional.
That's
Yeah,
why I was asking
that's
if you thought he was going to
true.
succeed.
I did
That's
think
why I
it
was trying to roleplay.
yeah.
I was trying to ask if.
To be fair, you don't
It's-
necessarily, maybe not 100% clued in on how it works yet, and it might.
It's the first time
what's
casting
the,
it.
What's the
It
save?
is my first time casting it. So it's just my spell save, yeah? It's 16.
Okay.
Constitution of +12.
So we've got a. Sorry guys, brain freeze.
What's the numbers?
You got a 26.
Okay.
So,
So
as
now-
you,
On a failed save,
yeah.
yeah, it's VSM, so I can't do this sneakily, can I?
So as you
I've
do
already
this,
walked past it and stealthed, by the way.
Yeah. So as
yeah,
you,
to be fair, well, I haven't cast Pass without Trace because I was doing that, assuming we were doing that. But
Oh, you
as
have because you added it to my.
you got 29, mate. You're chilling.
How far away are we?
Well, I mean, you said 39,
Yeah,
implying that you
but
cast
I wanted
it.
to leave it to diplomacy a bit, but go on.
So as you as you kind of walk in and go to cast it, I mean, what is it like when you do it?
So I mean, like visually, there's not really much going on. It's more for the person that is having it cast upon them. They kind of have almost like this is on a successful cast, obviously. So maybe this guy would get a little bit of it, but with the 26, probably not. Would their kind of vision would start to go a bit blurry, and all of the sound of the world.
Do you sort of like whisper?
Yeah, it would be in a very, very calm, hushed tone, almost like trying to kind of hypnotise somebody, that kind of thing. And all of the sounds of the world would become very muffled, and the world would kind of fade and become very blurry, and then slowly fade into the black as they became unconscious. But this guy did.
Okay. You see that it kind of, like this, turns around and you see that it stops carving for a minute and like looks around sort of both directions and sees you and just kind of...
Before he does this, can I cast Comprehend Languages?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
And it kind of wanders over to you. You see its kind of hands are like twinkling around, and it kind of approaches you, and it crouches down, and you can see that its eyes are just sort of like completely black as it's kind of looking at you, and it's kind of got this almost slight smirk on its face, and it utters this this strange tongue in this sort of kind of low stone giant language. Dorwin, you basically hear it say, what little curiosity do we have here? And it just kind of takes its hand and goes to pluck one of your pauldrons off your shoulder, and it kind of plucks it, and it looks at it as though it's the only thing it saw. And as it's kind of like holding it up in its hand like this, but I guess it's probably more like this in its hand, he just kind of goes, how interesting. And he just kind of like presses it onto his chest, and just sort of leaves it there, and immediately starts like carving these little swirls and stuff into it, before kind of like sort of getting up and like seeing the sort of sun and light from outside. It begins kind of dawning out there, and you see that it kind of walks over to Khazal and just kind of like presses his hand against Khazal's neck, but not even really looking at him as he's walking by, and he just goes around and starts like plucking things up off the ground and like examining them and either flicking them away or kind of incorporating them into itself.
Would Polana have let that happen?
Probably.
What? Even though not being able to understand what he's saying?
Well, I'm assuming that Dorwin's been relaying everything to
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
They're really like, he's curious about you, Polana. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Everyone's curious about me. Cool. But with Khazal's warning, I would probably be very tentative and like waiting to see what it did. I wouldn't want to strike or make any sudden movements without it doing so.
Yeah, agreed.
Sort of like hand on sword, maybe.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
100%.
Yeah.
I've got my sword out.
Okay,
but
sure.
I'm just
Oh,
waiting.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to be within 10 feet of this thing to cast this.
Oh, right.
thing.
Okay.
So yeah, I would be stood there, but just waiting cautiously to see what it did.
How much does your pauldron weigh? Is it like heavy armor, light armor?
Oh, it's heavy, I think.
Well, yours is mithril, isn't it?
Yeah. So what? Quite light then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Quite light. Yeah.
He's like stumbling away, isn't he?
Well, not away. He's staying in the area. He's just looking at stuff.
Sure. Maybe I could mage hand it back while he's focusing on something else.
Let us. Whilst you, I would assume you'd kind of maybe say that to me. Let us leave him for now and potentially try and get it back on the way. on our way back out.
Khazal kind of grumbles to you guys. Sorry, just quickly. Khazal kind of grumbles to you guys. He just says, while he is distracted, perhaps now is the time to seek the scale. I will try to prevent it returning for now, lest it cause havoc.
Maybe you could...
Roughly how big is the pauldron for me?
For you, I mean, it's,
it still fits in like a hand, does it?
Not in your hand.
I mean,
it wouldn't fit in mine.
You would need to. Yeah, you'd sort of probably hold it a bit like this.
Sure, okay.
Like the shoulder.
Alright. How out of it does the troll look?
The giant.
The giant, sorry.
He's out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making insight.
Nat 1.
Okay. He looks pretty well put together, to be honest.
Fair enough. Alright.
To you, he's a totally reasonable dude. You're like, oh yeah, of course you wouldn't make that stick up.
Of course he wants Polana's pauldron.
Yeah.
Alright, well, my insight of Nat 1, I'm going to attempt to steal the pauldron off his...
Okay. Do you want to do this one outpost scale,
No.
maybe?
I thought you were already in the cave.
No, I've like poked my head back, like seeing what all the delay is. Like, I don't know. I reckon it's just funny trying to like do stupid things.
Yeah. It's just... Now probably isn't the time to aggravate the guy.
It's nearly 10.
Yeah. Fair. Oh, fine.
Now, Khazal has just advised us not to as well.
Okay.
With Khazal suggesting that now is the time for us to press into the cave, I'll sort of say, yes, and perhaps while we are within, you could block its re-entry.
Oh, he said
just by sitting in front of the entrance.
And don't let it run away with Polana's armour. Keep an eye on him.
He says, indeed, I feel like it probably has at least some connection to this cave. Hopefully it won't go too astray.
Is your AC -1 now? Oh, thank you.
As we go through the cave, can I just keep an eye on the carvings, see how extensive they are?
Yeah.
Might have been here.
So I would say that with your ring of understanding, this isn't magical text or anything. It's just the musings of an insane creature.
To me, it seems perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
If you all went to a translator, I'm like,
Oh, that's so deep.
Yeah, just like
it is deep.
gone full hippie, just like whoa. You really feel that in your soul. You
Scratching is scratching.
there's a couple of sort of terms that stand out, like for example, like you see a spiral, and to you it's translated to like the stone is a lie. And you see these other things that like another crystal. You just see something that literally just says, "What is this?" And you see another one that says time to go and explore, and all these like weird little like they literally come across as like impulsive thoughts that it's saying it should be thinking or doing in a given
how
time
much
space.
of it is there? Like, how long would I guess he'd have been here to like carve this much stuff?
I mean, it's pretty extensive.
Okay.
It's pretty extensive. You, based on like how quickly you saw him do the last ones, it's not like he's like very fine-tunedly doing stuff. He's just like he's like doodling.
Yeah.
And given the scope of it, you'd probably guess about between a month and 2 months, depending on how regularly he was doing it.
Cool. Just trying to figure out if he's like making a base here, or if he's just wandered in for a sec.
Sure, yeah, fair enough. No, it seems like, I mean, from what you understand, like you will have heard about Dreamwalkers from being in the Underdark, just from stone giants probably that you've encountered in the past and spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like while they themselves don't know much about them, it seems like this one's very much enamoured with this place.
Cool.
Yeah.
Walk in then.
Yeah. So you guys head in. Any light that was pooling in has now been blocked by Khazal's form, and maybe just like little kind of beams just shoot through like gaps in under his neck or something. And you guys head further in, and you make your way down some of the corridors. You maybe get to a dead end and head another way, and then you suddenly start to feel this sort of radiant pull. And I'll just wait for Al to come back.
Mhm.
We get to
While we're chatting, like nothing important, would there be any crystal rocks just knocking about, relatively big ones?
Yeah, probably during the creation of this canvas. I mean, to be honest, this is probably something, Gesh, that you would potentially know about. Is that one of the magic elements of blue dragons and also bronze dragons that have lightning breath is
Dragos, maybe.
yeah, but obviously a bit more extreme. Is an element of dragons is that they sometimes can perform magical acts that don't have like a specific link to like a spell, or they just have like a desire, and they can kind of encourage things to happen. Sometimes they don't understand what, but something that's pretty consistent. And because these blue dragons and lightning dragons typically live in the desert, and with their lightning breath, they can essentially crystallize stone to make themselves caverns. They normally use them in the desert to
create burrows.
Yeah, to stay out of the.
Okay.
But so in that process, it would have been pretty destructive. So yeah.
Okay. How solid is it? How
I mean, it's a
sturdy?
crystal. It's a crystal.
Yeah.
Big crystal.
Because I'm.
The whole cave is crystal.
No, I understand that. I'm just I'm trying to basically at the moment I'm trying to find a replacement for my whip, and a crystal sword or something would be pretty fucking.
Oh,
cool
okay,
if
cool.
we can get someone to.
Oh, I
shape
see.
it.
Like how shattery is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
How sturdy
this
is
is crystals formed from the stone at the base of a mountain.
Yeah.
So pretty hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something that we could potentially do? That I take a big ass rock and we get someone to forge it at some point?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No.
Yeah, maybe like maybe you gather like collections of manageable ones and you put them into your pack, which are like heavy. So maybe it's like just in terms of logistics, because obviously you can't be lugging around a big ass crystal. So maybe it's more like you get loads of like various pieces that almost like in your mind you're kind of picking them up as you go, but can envision them taking the shape of a sword or something like that.
Cool.
Does that sound alright?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've already got a cool idea for how that could turn out.
Nice.
Um,
Might not be a sword.
Okay.
I still want to think about what.
That's fine. I've got like a certain. I mean, I'll run it by you because it's your
Sure,
thing.
sure,
But I've
sure.
got a certain aesthetic. I think would be cool. Okay, yeah. So what I was saying is, as you're going through tunnels, you start to feel this like radiant pull down one of the tunnels, and you make your way down. Sort of difficult to navigate this crystallized stony ground, and you make your way down into this chamber, and you can see that there's just this sort of silvery glow. It's quite subtle, like the radius of the glow is only a few feet, but there's a sort of the fact that it is kind of dim and that you know what it is almost like adds to how awesome it is, like as in awe, because it's like it's just kind of this like vessel of power essentially. Yes, what would you like to do?
Oh, sorry, I should have said this earlier, but en route, maybe I could have spoken to Khazal about what we can expect, from touching the scale.
Yeah. So Bahamut would have informed you that the scale. Sorry, Khazal would have informed you that the scale will undoubtedly be some kind of message, some kind of point of contact. Something that you guys already knew that I've sort of explained before is that the gods in the outer planes, due to the sort of universal laws of the land, have a very, very difficult time accessing the material plane. So this would have been quite like a covert operation to deliver some sort of information.
Okay.
So you're saying
we
we're
can
feeling
see Barry's scale, can we?
we're feeling this aura and we can now see the scale, yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. How big is it? What does it look like?
The scale is about sort of 7 or 8 feet tall, and it's a scale shape. It's kind of embedded itself in this crystal dome, which almost like is perfectly encapsulates its shape. It's just pure shiny radiant platinum,
Has any of the scale fallen off roughly a sword size?
That would be good. One big fucking
National shield.
Yeah, it's just
Solana just picks it up, puts it on her paw.
Perfect.
becomes the queen of shoulder barging. Okay, so yeah.
Delivers Bahamut's malice. 1d4,000.
One.
With a wish.
Everyone, I believe it's time to hopefully connect with Bahamut. Should we step forward and touch the scale together?
Indeed.
Can I connect with Bahamut? Because I'm the only one that's like not had any visions or anything.
You can try.
Indeed, as one. Should we say we all?
Rudy as well, yeah.
Yeah, and we, as one, all of us.
Raise your hand on it.
And touch it.
Yeah, you find that as you do, you are sort of immediately kind of rushing through almost like a wormhole, and as you're rushing by, it's just like an indecipherable mass of colour. Enoch, you are also experiencing this.
Okay.
After a while, the colours begin to sort of merge and take form and take shape, and they start to create the image of this huge mountain that is while you can see its shape and what it is, there's this aura about it in that its scale is incomprehensible. It's almost like an Eldritchian in power. It's just that your mind can't understand the scale of it, and you feel that. You kind of see these in front of it, the silhouette of this dragon, which is just wreathed in holy silver light. After a minute, as it kind of passes down, sort of in and out of your vision, you hear this like rumbling boom of a voice in your heads, and you just hear, "Barkhaex, you have sought out the scale precisely as I had wished. There is much information I must propose to you. The first concerning Krodratech. There is a dagger, a powerful, ancient weapon. It is all... Was it? Instead of a sword, huh?
Yeah.
It is all that can be used to finally put an end to Krodratech himself. It will slay his very essence. There is one key piece of the puzzle required for the dagger, and that is the Eye of Tiamat. I know of its very location, but I cannot divulge in such a manner lest unwanted ears hear such a call. You must travel to my realm of Bitopia. Meet with me. I will tell you all you must know then. To get there, you must meet with a contact of mine on the material plane, one more connected to me than any other. His name
is Terry.
His name is Gidello Mumblemeyer. He lives in the city of Squall's End. It is here that Gidello can guide you to my cause. But before you go, I wish to bestow upon each of you a boon of your own choice.
Oh shit!
I already know what I want.
No, you don't get to choose. Like, as in there's options. Sorry. He says, I wish more than anything to hear from you myself and know that you are safe and well and on the right path. But all of this will be delayed. Until then, I bid you farewell, Bahamut, Lord of Justice. And with that, you kind of feel the form of the mountain kind of crumple in and merge back into this psychedelic colour, and it kind of begins to crumple up faster and faster, and the colours begin to whiz back the opposite direction as you now feel like you're kind of being pulled out of this place wherever you were, and suddenly you feel like your bodies are just spat out of the scale, and you kind of sit there just taking a second to process what you've heard. Now, in that process of you guys being spat out, each of you would have chosen one of 3 potential boons. So one thing initially is that each of you can increase 1 stat by 1. And following on from that...
Suddenly everyone's taking notes.
The 3 potential things, you might all pick the same ones, you might want different ones, I don't know, but there's 3.
Sorry, the stat isn't one of the 3.
No, the stat you get for free, yeah.
Oh shit.
And the first one is that you could have are the Eyes of Justice, which are your eyes glow radiant platinum, giving you 60 feet of true sight for 1 minute.
True sight is what? Being able to just see through anything?
See anything. So things that are like invisible or
In magical darkness or anything like that.
How long?
For a minute.
And how many times would we?
Long rest. I'm actually probably going to do it based on because I think it's more thematic for this. I'm going to do it on instead of long rest, it's per day. So once the day has passed, you can use it again. The next one is the Breath of Justice, which is you emit a blast. I can send you these if you want to read them. You emit a blast of radiant energy. Creatures in a line 30 feet long and 10 feet wide emitting from you must make a dexterity saving throw. I'll tell you about the rules another time. On a failure, creatures take a number of d12 equal to your proficiency bonus radiant damage, and it's double damage against chromatic dragons. In addition, you can also sacrifice one of the dice that you use for damage to. You can sacrifice one of the damage dice to make it 45 feet instead and less wide.
How many d12s was it?
Proficiency bonus. The last one is the Wings of Justice, which is you gain ethereal dragon wings, giving you a flying speed, which is equal to double your walking speed for 1 minute in combat or 30 minutes out of combat. These are all considered aspect of Bahamut's justice. So you can just choose one.
Nice.
Gives you flying speed.
Double movement speed.
After that,
1 minute in combat.
1
30
minute
minutes
or
out.
30 minutes out of combat, yeah.
I guess she's going to choose the breath.
Being breathy boy.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
And all of them will once per long rest.
Yeah, per day, yeah.
Per day.
What type of damage is the breath?
Radiant. So it's like a beam, basically.
Yeah.
Like a laser beam.
Is that like basically the same as like fire, lightning, radiant is like a...
It's a category, yeah,
Category,
like that, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
Can you go through the specifics of the breath once more?
Yeah, so in a 30 foot long, 10 foot wide, the creature you're attacking makes a dexterity saving throw, and on a failure the creatures take a number of d12 equal to your proficiency bonus, and it's doubled against like chromatic dragons or like traditional enemies of Bahamut sort of thing.
Is that just chromatic dragons?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would maybe some of the Cult of Coconus be...
When I wrote it, I was umming and ahhing about that. I think
No.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe like just their commanders or something like that, or like
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, people who are particularly connected to
like
Tiamat in some way.
Krojatech himself kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it would
Double
affect
PvP.
Krojatech.
Yeah.
After this.
after this thing.
One of the benefits of the
It's
eyes,
true
of
sight,
course,
you
is that
see
since
the ethereal
if,
plane.
if Fergie
Does it?
casts like
Yeah.
the darkness spell,
So you can see your
you guys
base.
can
Interesting.
That's very useful.
that'd be
isn't
good.
it?
I'm gonna have the.
Yeah.
What are they called? The eyes of what?
For sure,
Eyes of
eyes.
Justice.
Eyes,
Or
breath, or
justice.
What are you thinking?
For sure, eyes.
Eyes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
you're
sure.
gonna get Dorwin doing some true sight. So doing some darkness, I mean.
Yeah, and just like I can see the ethereal. You can see into the ethereal plane. You can see all illusions have no effect on you, and you can see invisible creatures. That's like pretty handy. Such good utility. Well, especially for my character as well. Although the breath is very thematic, it's just not very Enoch to you know.
Yeah, I think that's the most Enoch-y one
Yeah.
as well. That's the thing, is I would urge you to go sort of based on like
What your character would do.
yeah, what they seem like, rather than necessarily like what's the
powerful.
optimum for your build. you
Like
know?
they're all pretty good. It's not like there's a bad one.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So, the stuff that we unlock at higher levels,
Mhm.
do our characters know about that stuff? Like,
Uh,
would I
you
know
would-
about the spells that I unlock and stuff like that?
Oh,
As a paladin?
yeah, I mean like you would
You might have seen elders perform.
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
wouldn't know
Spells.
when I was going to get it, necessarily.
I mean, for you guys, you know, you're not leveling up. You're like just growing in skill. So I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't know about what some paladins have been capable of in the
Yeah.
past, and maybe I can train to do that someday. You know.
Okay, but I wouldn't know.
And also as well, something with paladins as well is that typically, in most instances, if one paladin can do something, chances are, if you grow in strength enough, you'll be able to do it too, because paladins get their powers fed directly to them from the deity. You know? So it's like, for you, in your mind, you're leveling up based on like what makes you a paladin. The same way Enoch like grows in skill the more he does his stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, sorry to keep rambling on, but like one of the things I always like to imagine, especially with paladins and sorcerers and stuff that have their spells, and I guess anyone with any ability, is that in my mind there's like a portion of your downtime where you're training and stuff and like practicing and like you know, you can't just suddenly cast spike growth. You've been trying for months to cast spike growth and now you can finally do it.
Because I don't want to metagame. But the thing that would stand out the most to Polana would be the Wings of Justice. But at the next level, I get Find Greater Steed, which I'm going to be using in combat constantly anyway, which gives me a flying steed.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be like, oh, well, I'm going to get that pretty soon anyway, so I won't pick that one and pick something that's less Polana-y.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, I think it would be fair to say, because I mean, to be honest, like, I think that Polana realistically could sort of work with any of them. The wings are kind of the most epic and paladin-y, but like for example the eyes, like, you know, I feel like the eyes are more of like a covert thing, and you've got a bit of a dodgy mindset going on, but then also the breath, you know, like part of that is that it fucks up enemies of Bahamut, and you're like aiding Bahamut currently, you know, so I think you could justify any one of them, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
And radiant damage is pretty paladin-y.
Yeah,
It
that's
is very
true.
paladin-y. Which one are you wanting as Will?
The one that stuck out to me, not just as Polana, but is the Wings of Justice. Having that, because especially like fucking radiant wings, that's very paladin-y.
Yeah.
And like being able to, in a battle, like swoop down or like
Yeah.
go up high and give orders and.
That's
You're
the thing,
literally
is
making yourself into that model.
Also,
Yeah.
I remember it takes 10 minutes to cast Find Greater Steed, so if you have a call without it.
And if it dies.
So the thing with the Greater Steed the Find Steed that me and Bosch went through ages ago is that.
Oh, the custom one.
No. So it's it can basically because the thing doesn't disappear, it stays around even during long rests and whatever. So
But not if it dies though.
not if it dies, but it's never died yet. I mean, I haven't been using it very much, but when basically what I do is one day after it dies or whatever, I will sleep, prepare that spell, and then the next day unprepare that spell and just have this steed constantly around.
Yeah.
So it's very rare that it,
I would say, I think, I mean, if you think about it like this, like if you're doing aerial combat, it's often quite handy to be able to dismount briefly and like, you know, do a spear attack and then reconnect stuff. I think if it's like, you know, if you think that's the most Palanary, I don't think you would be like, oh, I can fly anyway. You know, I think you would still find a lot of use for it.
Oh, I see what you mean. So I'd still be able to fly in and have my
steed doing other shit.
Yeah, fly about and do some other shit. That's true.
Are you going through this Oathbreaker stuff soon though? Or
so
where's
he doesn't know
meant?
really. That's like what the journey is.
Like, is she starting? His brain sort of starting to fracture in that way. Though?
I've been thinking about this, and I was thinking there's a good chance that it probably would, based on what we were talking about previously. But earlier today, I was doing some research into it, and everywhere it says Oathbreaker paladins are specifically evil. It's not that you change your alliance, but it's not that you're going about the same thing. You are straight up evil.
But this is one of the things about what's it called, alignment chart, is that it doesn't necessarily have to like say for example you're evil. It might
like chaotic good, chaotic.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. It might not necessarily mean that like you want the end of the world. It just means like you might still be on this quest to like to kill Croja Tech because of all the shit they've done, all the people they've hurt that you personally are connected to as selfish. But now you're just breaking their legs and like ripping their throats out and shit and just being kind of a bit of a fuck cunt, you know? You don't have to be like death to the world. Like. But Enoch's partially evil, I would say. He's always nicking health potions and shit. Like, but he's not necessarily like.
No, I'm saving the world. I just have. If I'm saving the world, I don't think Enoch's morals. He wouldn't consider himself evil. He's considering himself. Yeah. He considers himself a hero.
I don't think many people evil consider themselves evil.
They're doing what they think's best for.
Like a lich just wants to live forever. They don't, and they'll take any means necessary to get there. So they are evil, but they think that they're just looking out for number one.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you'd still know that you're evil.
I don't think maybe Darth Vader, but like Darth Sidious wouldn't think he's evil. He's just using the dark side of the Force.
Yeah, true.
Because he's like, that's the most powerful thing, and he wants to be the most powerful.
Yeah, anyway, this doesn't have to be decided now, but that was something I was most likely going to go down that route. But with what I've been looking at, makes it sound so against everything that Plan stands for that it's like quite hard to justify that, I think. But
this is the thing, right? Is that so in terms of becoming an Oathbreaker, like we should see where your story goes and roll with it because, and you can obviously push it in a certain direction because you could say like, no, Polana really wants to resist this, but ultimately her breaking her own.
So here is saying. The Oathbreaker subclass is for paladins that broke their oath for evil reasons. Like it's not you're making it sound.
You can do whatever you want, mate.
Yeah,
you can make it your own.
I would.
But also, like on the flip side of that,
personally, just because it's just because it's like basically. I would say, so the way I would envision it occurring is that a paladin typically would break their oath in really extreme circumstances, and in most cases would just be relinquished of their power. But if you, as like a character who was like particularly driven or like emotive about a certain thing, you might like still manifest this power through your force of will. Which would manifest as Oathbreaker abilities.
Okay.
You see? So most paladins, they'll break their oath and then the deity will be like, fuck you, and then it's like, shit, oops. You know?
On the fandom, though the powers of an Oathbreaker may come from an evil source, those powers can be used for good or evil.
But that's
solely on those who have broken their oaths.
But my powers are no longer coming from a source of good, which they are, which is like one of the tenets of my being. And is now
that's what you're breaking, right?
Yeah, but
you're doing a 180.
What we spoke about, or what I interpreted from what you were saying before, was it's very much the same person. They're just going about the same thing.
You would be the same person.
But I'm now drawing my power from an evil source.
Yeah, so it'd be pretty shit for you.
Okay. But that exactly.
Polana wouldn't be pleased about being an Oathbreaker.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she probably wouldn't want to do. But like that's the whole thing. Like a Jedi doesn't want to become a Sith until they become a Sith, and they're like, is that right?
Yeah.
And like Kylo Ren, you know, like his whole thing was that he had a huge internal struggle. So did Darth Vader about like I'm doing this because I'm more powerful, but they'd also be like, oh fuck, remember when I was decent? Like, that was kind of good actually.
And if I don't know any of it, but if it's like coming from this like evil cursed thing and it's like affecting you, then maybe you don't really have much like choice. You know, you're like
It's not coming from that.
Sure,
probably
saying there's
contributing
like there's
factor,
like reasons that it could like you know sort of be like forced upon you a bit, even if you weren't like trying to break your oath. You're like, this has made me so pissed off. I've now broken it. You know.
Yeah.
Going back to these buffs though, good or evil, I could imagine that Polana would enjoy the wings and the radiant sort of presence, regardless of your oath. You know.
Yeah.
So maybe the wings. If
And you have been favouring a lot of movement stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Being a hypermobile paladin's pretty nutty.
I was thinking I need to get the mobile feat then, so I can swoop in and swoop out without getting
That's
attacked.
2 knots paladin. You're not going to get hit anyway if you
All right.
Do you reckon plus making my wisdom into a +3 or making my charisma into a +2? Because they're both odd numbers at the moment.
Like, charisma seeing as you're Enoch.
Yeah, but perception is important. But charisma is. My wisdom's 15 and my charisma's
Austin,
13.
talk me through putting my
That's
stats
then
on.
you just got all this
Yeah.
charisma enhancement
So
stuff.
basically, if it goes up from
They're all even. At the
Well, my
moment.
charisma based, my persuasion's
so
like
I would,
+9.
so I mean, this isn't necessarily
even
a
though
bad
my
thing.
charisma modifies
I would
+1,
pick
just
one
from,
that
other
you
things. Yeah. So it's
would
already,
like to
really
boost.
good.
So,
is it worth making
probably
my
wisdom or
my
dex
persuasion go from a
boost.
+9
and then
to a
next time, so
+11?
you know how when
Or
you
is it worth
every
like
4 levels you can pick a
making
a
my
feat, or
like
you
I
can
think
pick
next
two
time I can
perception
do
from like a
like
+6 to a
ability scores,
+7?
Yeah, you get a choice
Or like
between
depends
the
on
2
whether you
ability
think
scores or a
Enoch's becoming
feat.
a more
There's quite a few
perceptive person or a more
feats
charismatic
which include an ability
thingy
score, but only one
thingy
point.
person.
So you say you pick Dex, and then you picked a feat which gives you something, and +1 Dex, and you have +2 when you get to level 12.
And
We'll
does
do
that like say with this? So I've got my enhanced dragon.
I think
breath.
wisdom would
The
actually
save
like
is 15.
better.
No,
Would
so
that put that up?
perception
Would that
and
put that? So
Not
say if I
min-maxing, though.
put my dex up to
Not
18
min-maxing though.
and it's
No,
+4,
it's
does
not
that mean the
really-
save goes up to
That would
16 or
be-
something?
No,
Making
that's
yourself a
that would
well-rounded,
be.
useful character.
I mean, your save
It's not what
DC
min-maxing
is as a
Min-maxing is
ranger is
putting
based
all your
on
points into
wisdom.
one
Sure.
thing.
So this
totally
is
abuse
8
that one.
Oh,
plus
I see.
everything else is 0.
3
okay.
plus proficiency,
fine.
which is
Okay.
somewhere.
There.
Yeah, which
Okay.
works out to 15, doesn't it? So
Okay.
wisdom will make your spells and abilities more powerful. Dexterity will make your bow more powerful. You'll have increased damage and increased attack rolls with your bow with a higher dex.
Okay, but the wisdom would make like the dragon breath more powerful, would it? Okay. And what puts your AC up?
Nothing really.
Oh, really?
Just equipment.
Depending on your armor, right?
Yes, but he's got medium armor and his dex is 3. So yeah. So if you have light armor, your dexterity modifier, you get your full dexterity modifier added onto the bonus of light armor. So say you've got studded light armor, which is 12, and you've got +4 to dex. You have 16 AC. With medium armor, you get the base level of armor is higher, but you can add your dexterity modifier, but only to a cap of +2.
Okay.
And then heavy armor, you don't get to add anything. You just take the base value, which tends to be higher.
Do I wanna? This will this decision. I think will start to shape Kesha's character a little bit as well. Actually.
That's cool.
Um,
What are you guys doing for ability scores?
Then my constitution.
Sure, nice. Has it modifier changed on it?
+2 to +3.
Nice, that's good. Affect all your level up healths from now on.
True.
I think I'm gonna do wisdom.
Okay, yeah. You are getting more herbalist and less shooty, aren't you?
Well, I'm always shooty.
Because I think wisdom's your modifier for your potion craft as well.
Yeah,
which
it
makes
is.
sense since that's where you've dedicated the most time recently.
How do I change that? Oh, it's in.
Abilities.
There we go.
So you just click that one. Oh, they were both equal. That's so interesting.
Huh?
That your dex and wisdom were the same
Yeah.
skill.
Not anymore.
What would you suggest for stats?
For you,
Yeah.
it's got to be con or strength probably, or maybe charisma if you're feeling spelly.
Annoyingly, con, strength, and charisma are all that. Strength and charisma are 18, and con is 16.
Yeah, but remember when you get at level 12, you get an ability score improvement.
Or
Yes,
feat.
but I was most likely going to take a feat.
And is it a feat that comes with an ability score improvement? Because some of them.
I haven't really looked at feats yet.
Oh, okay.
I
sure.
just haven't taken many feats.
So just to remind you, basically, when you each 4 levels, you can either have 2 ability score improvements, which you can distribute anywhere, or you can take a single feat. A lot of the feat, well, not a lot of them, but quite a few of the feats come with a +1 in a certain ability score.
Okay.
So if you want, before you pick now, because we'll wrap up now, if you want to have a look at feats you'll be taking at next level, you could see if any of you could look for ones which increase strength or charisma or whatever you are interested in, and then you could put a point in that and then potentially get another point in one of them.
Okay.
But you've also got a lot of shit going on, so it might just be I think people are averse to the idea of picking ability scores because there's a lot of feats which are quite cool. But like, for example, having like if you pick strength, for example, and you put your 2 points in that and it goes up by 1, then you've got a +1 to your attack rolls and your damage rolls for every hit you make.
Yeah, true.
Which, like, over the course of a year-long campaign, would be like hundreds of points of damage.
Yeah, true.
A lot of people there's quite a few sort of power gamey people, and I've seen quite a few of them suggest that for level 4 and level 8 you get ability score improvements, and then later on you get feats once you've got more class abilities. Apparently, I'm not very good at power gamey stuff though, so I wouldn't know.
I think you can work round. Well, I've worked around like not very high base stats.
Rogue low and get expertise.
Yeah.
And sneak attack.
Although I wish I had multi-classed. Yeah, because we level up. We're not going to hit level 20, so I wish we'd level that.
Why not?
Just wish we had multi-classed. I wish there was a Withers.
We might hit level 20,
Yeah. Fair.
and also we can multi-class.
Yeah, but I'd want to like put like rec on it.
What would you want to multi-class into?
Oh, mate, I want to. I'd be a Gloomstalker Ranger. I'd take 5 levels of Gloomstalker Ranger and the rest Rogue.
But is there like much point in multi-classing to something that's like basically identical to a rogue?
Well, so
What would
the benefits
thematic
be?
No, I get the benefits. I completely get them, but like, what would the sort of thematic justification be? You know?
For my Hunter's Mark, I'd have like a psychic thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
That I, start invading people's psychic minds and like,
Yeah,
start
that's true. More
overwhelming
magic-y
them.
stuff.
More,
yeah.
and then I feel like the Dread Ambusher just works so well with like being hidden and sneaky.
Yeah, it's one of them though. But like, there's also quite a few
and that's
cool things you get. Like, you might not have your, don't remember which way around it is, but like you might not have your evasion or your uncanny dodge and stuff like that. Like you would lose a lot of current stuff you have at the moment.
yeah.
And like your daggers.
I'd go 3 levels
weaker.
into. I'd go 3 levels into
Psychic.
Gloomstalker at the moment.
Yeah,
Not
fair.
5.
Yeah, 3 is normally where it's actually gets subclass.
Yeah.
And you get more health as well.
Really care about that. It's just literally for Dread Ambusher. Yeah, just name it here.
No, I'd say you'd have more health.
Yeah. I mean, but I'd do it for no health. If that's what you want. Ooh. How do you make a custom class again?
My Homebrew Creations, Creator, and then
Collections. My Homebrew Creations.
And
Nice.
then at the top it says Creator, and then I'd suggest picking from a starting class.
What are you making a custom class about?
The True Sight.
It's not a
class.
class.
Huh?
That'd be like a feat or something.
Yeah, I said how do you make the feet?
You just
It's a
class.
class.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
But same process anyway.
My Homebrew Collections create a feat. Yeah. And what's it called again? Oh,
Eyes
do I-
of Justice.
I can't.
I mean, do you want me to make it so that we can all have it?
Works Works for me.
As I struggled to use this builder.
I'm just thinking of Gesh's kind of character arc a little bit now. Like, how I wonder whether he might stop using a bow at some point and maybe start using a crossbow. So he can have it in one arm, I don't know, and then maybe be using his other arm for something else. We'll see.
Jacking it.
A sickle.
Alright, Connie.
What did you say?
Alright, Connie.
Crossbow and sickle. Right.
Cool.
Oh! Ever since the last level, I could have. Everyone gets a D10. I get D10s now instead of Jets.
Oh really? At level 11?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we want to get Alana's pauldron back quickly?
Yeah, can do. So, are we starting with a stealth or we're starting with a mage hand?
Whichever. I don't mind.
I vote try Mage Hand first because he'll probably.
You have mage hand leisure domain? Can you like pick up and do sleight of hand with your mage hand?
I can pick things up.
But you can't do sleight of hand because that's
No, you can't do sleight of hand.
Bear in mind as well, it's like embedded in this dude now.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be able to sleight of hand it out of him.
Well, at the moment, it's
probably
just
just
on him.
loosely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like starting
Against
to.
the edge. Also,
attach
so
it.
like in a daze, I don't think you notice it. I think you notice it less than someone like climbing up him, you know?
True. Yeah, that's true. You'd have to clamber. He's like 12 foot tall. You'd have to clamber up.
I'm pretty sneaky.
By the way. Okay. So what's the plan of attack? Not attack.
I'll probably sneak up behind him, cast Mage Hand, and try and pluck it out while he's, focused on something else.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we could ask Khazal to try and draw his attention.
Or
Or I can use my Major Illusion that I currently have active.
Yeah.
maybe if you make something very interesting on the floor for him.
Sure.
Fuck knows what that is for this thing.
Yeah. I think we should try and sneak past him first, so if things do go awry, we can bolt without having to fight
Well,
him.
you
Oh,
can
he's
do
out
like
in
a
the open.
giant carrot.
Oh, he's out in the open.
Yeah, he's out okay.
Oh, okay.
Khazal's
Fine. I
behind
thought
the
he was
entrance.
still.
Yeah, he wandered past us, and then Khazal's just
I thought we were a bit
gently
further
blocked
down.
it.
As you guys sort of like, after that experience and learn that knowledge, who remembers any of it?
What?
What you just learned from Bahamut?
Me?
Yeah.
Just anyone? I'm
Oh,
just,
yeah.
I'm just wondering, just seeing
Yeah,
it.
we've got to go and
a
talk
little-
to him, and we've got to go and
We've got-
find
yeah,
this
we've got to
guy.
go to-
We've got to go to
Squall's
Squall's End
End.
and find the Gloober guy.
We have to
something
Mumblecade.
Mumblemeyer is his surname.
Giddle Mubblemeyer.
You were further off, and you'd written it down.
Giddle Mubblemeyer.
When
Mumblemeyer.
we're playing D&D, you're very like Ron Weasley.
Who's this Gibbo Mumblemeyer?
Yeah, Gidello Mumblemeyer. Yeah.
Yeah, we remember that.
The thing that I didn't get is the Eye of Tiamat is required for the dagger.
Yes. So,
What does that mean?
well, we
Access
can
it.
find out when we talk to Godello.
Gidello Mumblemeyer.
Mm.
Quests!
Have you put into D&D Beyond those three things that... No.
No, I'll do it at a different point. Yeah, now.
Yeah, fair.
I'll send the link to the, not a link, but I'll send you the text in a chat.
I've got all the stuff.
Okay, cool.
But the only thing I don't think we can do is do proficiency bonus number of dice. I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, maybe we'll just have to custom, like just do like 5d12 and then when proficiency bonus try to remember.
How's your proficiency bonus go up?
Just levels.
Oh, does it? Fair.
Yeah, let me see. If you want to know a little bit about what's coming in general for your class and stuff, if you just type in Ranger 5e table, it will show you things. So the next proficiency bonus, which is up to a 5, is at level 13.
Sorry, the next ability, what did you say?
The next proficiency bonus up is +5. Is at level 13, which is +5. Yes. So as you sort of approach, as you start leaving the cave, and you can see these little beams of light shooting through different points of Khazal.
I'd do greater invisibility as I went up to him, by the way.
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, he's on the other side of Khazal at the moment.
Yeah,
but as in just letting
point,
you know,
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I'd do that.
You kind of see Khazal just kind of like just sort of grumbling like this, and you just like hear this little sort of like rumbling, ruffling sound, and you can just at one point you just see these like sort of fingers poking through one side of Khazal, like trying to scrape into the cave, at this.
Is Khazal enjoying getting a belly rub?
Well, he's not necessarily getting very well. He's just like trying to be manoeuvred around, and then after a minute, you just Khazal just goes like that, and you see he like suddenly jolts up as you see that the creature, the stone giant's trying to like pull one of his scales off, and Khazal kind of like jolts out the way as he probably telekinetically since you guys are coming, and as he does, kind of light floods in, and it's sort of kind of blinding for a minute. Dorwin, you're invisible at the moment. You see that the creature's kind of stood there, and after Khazal pulling away, you see it kind of like looks at that area where its hand just was, kind of confused like that. And as you approach it, you see that it kind of turns and looks at you for a minute, and then kind of walks up to you, kind of looking at you the whole time. And then it just sort of pauses and like bends down and just picks up one of the crystals off the ground, just like right in front of you basically, and just starts carving into it. As it does so, it's like...
Isn't he invisible?
Yeah, he is.
And you can still just look at him.
He knows what he's doing.
Is that what you're perceiving? You're perceiving him looking at you though?
It feels like he's looking at me,
like it,
with a stone, so maybe he's looking at the stone.
And he starts like carving something into the stone, and he kind of like looks around for a minute, and as you he's kind of holding it in his hand like this, one of these big crystals, and you just see that on the stone it just says, "Where are you?" Cool.
This guy's cool. I like this guy.
What do you want to do? You want to try and... You can see the pauldron kind of just like... It looks like it's just sort of on his chest.
And where are we in the cave? Just like near the entrance?
Near the entrance, yeah. He's sort of just come in after Khazal and wants to get back to writing stuff down.
Sure, I'm going to use my major illusion to make a deep rumbling sound behind him, and then from the earth, an ornately carved rock pillar that reaches 15 foot tall comes out behind him.
Okay.
It makes a big loud noise as well.
Okay, yeah. And you see that he kind of like... the sound... actually, I'm just going to do a roll just to see what happens, basically.
Sure.
Based on a random number I'm going to pick in my head. Okay. So he basically, like... he turns around, and you see that the pillar that forms there, although it's an illusion, he's like grabbing it, but he's not putting his hand through it. But he's also, you can tell based on like how the illusion's interacting and stuff, he's actually not like putting any force through it, but he's like intentionally almost like caressing the illusion, but not actually touching it.
Well, as soon as he sees it, I would have tried to sneak my mage hand underneath and pull it down from his chest.
Okay, yeah. Let's base this on a roll. I'm going to say that even though the mage hand is technically bound by the £5, I'm going to say that it requires a bit of a tug, just for, so that there's a roll involved. So why don't you do me a just like a no proficiency bonus, just your intelligence modifier added onto a d20.
Sure.
Because
I got 13.
okay. So as you're pulling at it, you see that it kind of like it kind of comes undone at the top, but the bottom is still like hinged onto his chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does he react?
Doesn't seem to have noticed. He seems rather enamoured by this pillar that he can't touch.
Sure. is.
You not just yank it again with the mage hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to grab it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
And pull the rest of it off.
Yeah, I feel like this time would probably pop off with only a little bit still attached, logically. Yeah, as you do, you see that as it kind of comes off, its hand suddenly like falls through the illusion, and it begins like patting around on its chest and like kind of like looking around. Yeah, but it's
initiative.
he just kind of like continues to like look around a little bit confused for a while. Is there anything you want to do now?
You've got it.
Yeah.
Probably Scarpa, right?
Yeah. Khazal.
Yeah.
Sure. My vote.
All right.
I'm gonna cast suggestion at it and slowly use my silver tongue magic to say there was something back in the back of the cave. Like after we've walked past, you used to have it, but it fell off your shoulder a while back ago, didn't it?
Okay.
You
cool.
should go get it.
Let me just do the thing.
Also, he can't understand you.
Fair enough.
You suggest because limited sense and magically influence a creature you can see within range that can hear and understand you.
Sure, it can't understand me.
Well,
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't even speak common. They only speak giant.
Fair enough.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that was a cool idea. I liked that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you guys are able to sort of hop on Khazal and bugger off. Plani, you notice that your pauldron's kind of got like a little bit of like stony residue around the edge of it.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Nice. We'll pause there.
What
Yeah.
would my spell save have been that the troll had to make? What is my spell save? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't say what my spell save is.
It would be. Oh, I think we agreed to base it off your charisma because I think that makes the most sense for like you, and it's what Arcane Trickster does as well, isn't it?
Sure.
So it would be your charisma modifier plus 8 plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
So what's that? 14 or something? 13, 14?
14.
14.
Then I'll get a benefit because of Goober Silver Tongue magic from my enhancements.
I think the enhancement from that is that it gives you the option to even cast the spell.
Okay.
So no benefit from that, but you obviously have the benefit to your normal talking.
Okay.
So yes. Oh no, that's sort of performing, isn't it? Was it, yeah. Yeah, basically.
Okay, so it's
with that
14.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Which isn't bad for a non-caster.
Yeah.
Isn't bad. Especially if you're what's it contested against? Wisdom.
What is that?
No idea.
Oh,
I don't
suggestions.
know.
It says need dips.
Okay.
Wisdom, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, if you roll it against a creature with relatively low, that doesn't seem very wise. Okay, cool, nice. Yeah, we'll pause there then, guys.
Yeah, nice.
See, good sesh.
GG's.
Got some options of where you can go next, and
Yeah.
two options, I suppose, unless you want to fuck off and do something else. But if you do that, let me know in advance.
What's the second option?
Go to Fireland.
What's the first option?
Go to Squall's
Go to
End.
Squall's End.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Yeah, that was stupid. Question about getting rid of this whip.
Yes.
Do I know where these people are? The Knoll people?
Knolls are, so you're not gonna, so basically, I mean, you're gonna have to study some stuff, but you will know a bit about Knolls already. You fought them before.
Are they Fae?
No.
They're not in the Fae?
No.
We fought them before.
Yeah. That's where you got the whip. There was like fuckloads of Knolls.
Oh, yeah.
It's like falling down in that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Knolls are just like these, they're basically, I mean, even the way they come into being is like gross. They're basically like a hyena kind of gets like, a hyena's really drawn to Knolls, they want to hang around them all the time. And hyenas basically, like when they're spending enough time around Knolls, will develop this like gooey demonicness in them, and they will get so hungry that they will gorge and gorge and gorge until they explode, and when they explode, the knoll is born out of that carcass.
Oh, great.
And knolls are like, so in the, I mean, Polana.
They're like rabid, right?
Yeah, completely rabid. Like, I mean, they do have like weapons and like they do organised sort of attacks and stuff, but it's just like chaotic nonsense. But like one of the things I'll just tell you, because it's probably not even going to come across it in the campaign, but north of the White Wilds, there's this dead land basically. It's just like this like the White Wilds is a horrible big desert full of horrible creatures, but north of that is like this barren landscape, and it borders the territory of the Wood Elves, Merilon, and basically that Badlands area is just like this self-fulfilling cycle of knolls. And the Wood Elves of Merilon on the southern border are just that just eternally trying to push them back and get their trees to grow that direction, because it used to all be Merilon. They came up shortly after the White Wilds was created, but like that's just like a never-ending onslaught of hyena demons.
Cool.
And yeah, they just want to eat everything. They eat until they die, basically, if they can.
Sweet. And so where would I be able to get such information? Just in towns?
Start asking around.
Yeah.
You need to find some academics, talk to Dorwin a bit. He seems pretty good with stuff like this, or at least he knows where to find certain info and things.
Okay.
You know, I mean, your thoughts would probably be drawn to like there's certain places that you're pretty sure would be guaranteed to have this sort of info, like a library in Eastbourne, which is like the cultural and academic hub of the world. You could potentially ask Bahamut when you get there. I'm sure he could potentially do a miracle or something, maybe. You know, there's like there's definitely things for you to start thinking about.
Okay.
But you're just gonna have to ask me when you have an idea, basically.
Okay.
Act as Polana does.
Cool. All right. Nice.
But yeah, so at the moment you're looking for, basically all you know is that you're looking for a Chaos Thorn, that you know a stem has something to do with Yunogu and that sort of demonic entity.
Okay. And I haven't tried pulling on it.
I mean, you might have done.
Anything happened?
I mean, it'll probably just come out. Not like out of your body.
Yeah. Oh, that was so easy.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you just need to squeeze it real hard. World's biggest botfly. Alright, cool. Should we go home?
Yeah, alright.
Nice.
Yeah, can do.
This is very nice. Is it the same on the inside?
Don't know. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.